is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions, from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
You move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The views and statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. We are back in our home away from home, which is Hialeah Park. Yeah, we're in the second floor poker room. Sean, Stanley, and myself, the man that masters this program every single day. Hope you all are doing well. You get a chance, come on by. Come on out here to Hialeah Park and join us. We'll be out here for a couple of hours having some fun and talking about all kinds of things going on in the world of sports. It's day 2 of training camp for the Miami Dolphins. They're back at practice. Marlins will continue their set or wrap it up with the Reds today at 12:35. So we got a bunch of stuff going on to talk about, some NFL stuff. I got some baseball stuff. All kinds of sports going on. And obviously, front and center will be the Miami Dolphins. We had a good time yesterday. As we told you, we're not going to be at camp today or tomorrow. They're not in pads anyway, so it's not a big thing. Let's just hope nobody gets injured. That's really the important part of the next couple of days. And remember, as I told you yesterday in the afternoon, Saturday they will not be in pads. They'll be in shells. Pads will start on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when. So if you have your tickets for Tuesday and Wednesday, just in case, because if you're going tomorrow, what's it called? You will not see them in pads. Not tomorrow. Saturday. If you're going Saturday and you're expecting them to be in pads, that's not going to end up happening. You're not going to see them in pads. So I would tell you to relax and try. Well, I think the rest of the days may be already, all those tickets may be scooped up already or whatever. They're not, you don't pay for them. It's just passes to get in. But I think it's all taken up throughout training camp, which I'm not surprised. I'm really not shocked that that's the case. I think this is one of those seasons. And listen, I think most of us get excited about football season every year. And we look forward, even though we've been suffering as Dolphin fans, those of us that are real fans, man, we look forward to the season no matter what. And we're hoping for the best. But this is one of those seasons where, man, there's a little bit more confidence about what's going on. And this is a first-year coach, which is kind of weird. But I really like the roster. I really like what I'm seeing overall. And I think that's why there's a good vibe from a lot of Dolphin fans going into this season about the team, about certain players. I understand that the QB part is, I get it. It's a lightning rod, and some of you believe and some of you don't, and whatever. And and I guess it'll take time, and everything else will work itself out. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of those seasons where there's a really nice buzz, going into the year, and I like what I'm seeing overall. Let's stay away from the injuries, and everything will be all right. I see Scott Primus is first in, and Omar Lopez and Steve Chapman, and Ian from Brooklyn, and Rosendo. Happy Thoughts Thursday. Think happy thoughts because you have made it through almost the whole week. Tomorrow is Friday. You're almost there. Go Fins. Yes, sir. To Extreme says, you and Marcel got to smile more when a Big Mac Daniel takes a selfie. You all look like a Cuban gargoyle waiting on a cafecito. I mean, yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I wasn't smiling. I was just there. I didn't know how to like. Do I look like a goofball and start like, hey, so I just like stood there and take your selfie, whatever. I mean, I saw some people with some goofy stuff. I'm kind of glad I was just serious, actually. Steven Gonzalez says, good morning, my people. Big O, much love, brother. Thank you for blessing us with another show and your knowledge. Let's go, Fins. Well, thank you. I don't know about the knowledge part, but thank you. Thank you. Sean Stanley and myself really appreciate it. Good morning, Big O and Sean. I saw you in that picture with Coach and the media. Did you guys see Sean was in the picture too, by the way? He's on the right side of the picture. On the back end, on the right side, he's holding his camera. So Sean Stanley is also in the picture too. All right. Big O and Sean must have felt great to be back at camp. I mean, it was fun. I've done that for so many years that it's not like anything, it's just I've done it many, many times. It was better for me. It was just better to go see, Omar, and go talk to Marcel, and talk to Cam, and talk to Will Manso, and talk to whoever that I was able to rap with over there. That to me was really what I look for. Safedine, I hadn't seen him in a while, and last time I talked to him, he was going through a rough period, and so all those kind of things. That really was the cool part, seeing Silver and Pete, the camera guys, and who else? I mean, it was just a cool thing, and and connecting with people in the building. That was also really cool. So yeah, I mean, it was all right. I enjoyed it, but it's not something that, oh my God, it's whatever. I've done it many, many times. It was more nice to connect with people. Ruthie Polinsky, I've had her on the show several times, and we've never met in person. So that was like our first time actually meeting in person. You know what I mean? So that was actually the best part, is actually meeting some of the people that I've never met. And we've got a bunch of youngins too on the beat. As I was there, and I met some people, met a young man from the UPI, I believe it was. He told me yesterday, and I like him too. He was asking good questions. It looked like a cool dude. But yeah, there's some youngins out there. Saw Tobin out there too. Good dude. Really hard worker. Admire Tobin. What else? What are you gonna say?
I like Tobin being out there because he was melting as much as I was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, like the rest of us, man. I think that was the best part, is seeing Jason Jenkins and the people at the Dolphins and things like that. That was cool. But I mean, being in practice, if I'm gonna be brutally honest, there was no pads, and I'm old school, man. I want to see pads. I want to see hitting. I want to see real football. And then that way I could get a good feel. That's why yesterday afternoon I wasn't going crazy over what was happening, because there's no pads going on. It's just hard to measure everything. A little bit in the passing game you can do, and that all right, but outside of that, it was cool. It was cool to be back. And hopefully when I get there next week and there's some pads, I probably will enjoy it a little bit more when I get to see a little hitting. Great to see Joe Shad back. Yes, that was another gentleman that I was able to talk to. So we are going to work on getting Joe Shad back onto the show. We will do that. Yodotis says, who's Will Manso? Let's see. What else do we have? Alarmo missed his photo op with Coach McDaniel. Yeah, that's right. Alarmo was not with us on the photo op. Damn, we got to get him in there. Apparently, Bromar Smelly is a Ruthie fan. He's got that emoji where his eyes are popping out. Sean Stanley looked like he's ready to body slam somebody. Sean Stanley looks like he's always ready to body slam everyone. That's just the shot. That's the Sean Stanley look. That's just the way it goes, bro. You know? That's why I travel with Sean, not because he's a producer. No, he's the bodyguard, bro. Everybody messes with me. They got to mess with him, and that's, you're screwed. What's that?
I almost had to take somebody out on the plane.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. God, that guy was an idiot. Oh, Lordy. Big O, saw you walk by after Tua got done with his press conference yesterday. Tua starting to talk like a quarterback that is having fun. Well, it's the environment. The environment allows you to be yourself. And that's what Mike McDaniel is doing right now and what he has done since he took over. He wants you to be yourself. Do you know why? This is the best way I can measure you as a player and a person. Now, if I'm forcing you to act a certain way, I'm never going to find out who you really are. I'm never going to really find out how you tick. And so then when things go awry, then I find out. Well, I'd rather find out every single day who you are and how you act and what's your personality and things like that. And I think that's why he allows players to be themselves. And then this is a way he knows he's comfortable enough, obviously, with his personality that he can connect with people and giving people the environment to grow, not just athletically, but also as human beings. You know what it is? Oh, well, you can't interact. You can't talk. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it becomes like this military type environment that when you walk in, you have to now change your entire mindset. And if you're a professional, you're a professional. You know what I mean? I worked with some idiot named Kakayud, and that moron, right, had a problem with me going to concerts. I'm like, does that stop me from doing my job? Because, I obviously do it way better than you and way more valuable to the station than you, way more talented than you. So what the hell are you talking about, right? But, this is a clown that knows. That's why his name is Kakayud. He had no talent in this business. He thought he could be a radio station owner. He's a clown. But a moron. And that's usually what happens. And I run into that in this business. That's why that clown Tony's been fired everywhere. He's a clown. He's a moron. You know what I mean? He's garbage. And so no talent. And this is the kind of crap that you have to deal with. And you don't want to work in an environment where people don't allow you to be yourself. You know what I mean? And I ran into that situation when I was at 1210. I'm freaking carrying the damn station in every way, shape, and form. And you're going to bust my balls about me wanting to go and enjoy what I enjoy as a hobby? Get out of here, dude. That kind of, and Mike McDaniel's not going to do that. He's going to allow people to be themselves. So now Tua can be himself. And he's a professional. As long as you can compartmentalize things. And Michael Jordan went right there to the tables, except they were in Vegas, right? And he's there till 2, 3 in the morning gambling. But he's going to wake up the next day and he's going to go to shoot around, and then he's also going to nail 40 points on your head. He's not going to have dragged legs and he's going to run out of gas in the third and fourth quarters because he was drinking and partying the night before. Then you can't compartmentalize. You know what I mean? You want to do one thing, you got to make sure it doesn't get in the way of something else. So you've got to be professional enough to be able to know how to do that. If you can, then why are you going to get in the way of somebody that can do that? Allow them to enjoy themselves. Allow them to be themselves as long as they're doing their job, as long as they're working with their responsibilities. And I think that's what Mike McDaniel is looking for. Hey, Teron Armstead, you want to rap? You want to enjoy life? You go ahead. Just make sure you got that left tackle spot locked down. Got no problem with that. Hey, Tyreek, you want to have a podcast? No problem. Just make sure you're playing the game the right way and going all out. And I think that players appreciate that. I think human beings appreciate that because I'm sure this is not something that's just sports related. I gave you my example. I'm sure some of you out there have to have an example of a boss or somebody that wanted to get in the way of something that you enjoy, and they were trying to spin it like that would get in the way of your job when you do your job just fine. And if your job's just fine, then why are you bothering me on this end? You know, that kind of stuff. And that's why I think Mike McDaniel and why Tua looks comfortable, because there's an environment that allows him to be comfortable now. He's got people that believe in him. He believes in himself. And now he's got a system that's going to complement him. So let's go. We're off and running. Now Tua should have all the confidence in the world. Well, I'm sure he had the confidence, but now he should have all the trust in the world that he can go succeed now. That's something that he didn't have the first 2 years because the environment wasn't there. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Folks, remember, if you're hanging out and you're having a party, maybe you're having a meeting, and you're running out of liquor, listen, you've already been drinking. Let's not drink and drive right now. If you're in Miami, you got to download Miami's own liquor store, whether it's in Coral Gables or Westchester or the Upper East Side or in Omni or Little Havana or the Rhodes or West Miami or Cocoa Plum. You download the app, iOS or Android, Liquor Split, and tap that app. We love tapping that app. And by the way, the first order, we're going to give you 15% off the first order. Use the code BIG-O15. That's BIG-O15. Download. Hey, listen, download the app. Then you need that vodka. You need that whiskey. You need that wine. You need that beer. You need the chips, maybe some smokes. They've got them there for you at Liquor Split. Again, go to your iOS or Android app store. Download it there. Go to liquorsplit.com. You can go to the website. Check it out for yourself there. It is Miami's own liquor store. $2.99 flat fee, no extra fees, and $1 of it goes to helping homelessness in Miami. So you're also making a donation to a great cause. And for $2.99, with gas prices, the way things are, how convenient is that? You don't even have to go yourself to the liquor store. And even if you don't want to be bothered by going to the liquor store, have somebody else go for you. That is so awesome. iOS or Android, Liquor Split. Download the app and tap it and use our code BIG-O15 so you can get 15% off. All right. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there. Remember, if your business wants to join our platform and you want to, of course, reach a large audience, whether it's locally in South Florida, statewide, or nationally, or even internationally, this platform is reaching all levels for you. Come to us and join our platform. 786-754-4664. That's the business line. 786-754-4664. 4664 if you want to reach out to us on our business line there and join the Big O Radio Show family. And appreciate all of you out there. Anthony Chiang will be joining us any second now, so we'll get into a little Miami Heat talk with him. Let's see. Big O, will you be at training camp on Saturday? Yes, sir, Mr. Reed. I will be there on Saturday. The great Sean Stanley will be there on Saturday. We just cannot go today and tomorrow because we have our commitments with Hialeah Park and Acura Pembroke Pines. So we cannot be out there today or tomorrow. If not, we would be out there. But Saturday for sure we'll be out there. And then next week we'll, with the pads on, I'm sure we're going to adjust the show schedule. Remember, the best thing you do is hit the notification bell. The notification bell will tell you when we're live. Okay. And you may want to start following Big O Show Cuts, because whenever there's a Saturday show, I'm going to do it on that channel. Okay? Saturday shows will be at Big O Show Cuts. So you may want to subscribe to Big O Show Cuts, and you may want to also hit the notification bell there too. Saturday there will be camp, and maybe I do a short show after. It'll be there. So make sure you check it out and follow us there on that channel, por favor. We need a bigger wagon. They'll all be jumping on by the fourth week. Greater good, they're not allowed to jump on the bandwagon. You're either a Dolphins fan or you're not. Let's end this bandwagon shit already. Okay? All right? Bandwagons are for people that never followed the team. If you followed the team and then chose not to follow them anymore and not root for them or not watch them or whatever, then you're not a fan anyway. Know what I mean? It's when we were going through, or when we've gone through all this turmoil in the past, and I remember some Dolphins fans would get frustrated with me, right? Oh, God, you're ripping the team all the time. And I go, yeah, what is there to praise? Why are you a fan? Because I care. So if your kid is, doing drugs and, committing crimes and you just look the other way, does that mean you care? Probably not, right? But if you're trying to, punish your kid and go after and try to straighten him out, it's because you care. What was it McDaniel said yesterday? Well, when we're coaching you and we're paying attention to you and we're screaming at you, it's because coaches care, right? If we don't care, it's just like, yeah, get out of here. Get out. We don't waste our time with you. That kind of stuff. So let's end this bandwagon shit. Okay? If your buddy didn't want to follow the Dolphins the last couple of years, your buddy's not a Dolphins fan. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, dude. I don't care how bad Joe Philbin is. I'm still a Dolphins fan. I can complain all I want about it, but that's because I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't complain. Apathy is the worst thing. No one cares about the Marlins. No one cares. No one cares. I follow them all the time. I watch them all the time. I bet against them all the time. We won again yesterday, liquor split matchup of the night. But no one cares on average. Why? Because it's like you don't exist anymore. And that's the worst thing for a team. And I would tell fans, anybody that hears fans constantly complaining about that's because they care. It's because they want them to win. The guy that doesn't, or a woman that doesn't want to watch or talk about the team, I don't care. I'm not watching the games. You were never a fan anyway then. Real fans are on the bandwagon all the time. And they're suffering in 1-15. And they're celebrating the Miami Miracle. And they're celebrating Greg Camarillo. And that's one stupid moment in the season because it's a shitty season. And that one stupid moment, and that's because we're fans. So this bandwagon stuff, okay? If your buddy wasn't following him in the first place and never even, ever mentioned the Dolphins, and now he wants to become. That's the bandwagon. That's a bandwagon. But the man or woman that chose not to follow the team because, it's not the way I want it to be, which, really, do you think I want what's happened the last 25 years? No, I don't want any of it. But I got to live with it. That's my team. I love them. I'm always going to root for them. I'm always going to talk about them. And hell yeah, I'm going to complain and bitch if they're not doing it right. But I'm also going to praise, too, when they're doing it great. So this bandwagon shit. I'm so tired of it because if you're a real fan, there's no bandwagon. You're on the wagon. You've always been on the wagon. You never got off the wagon. You might hate being on the wagon at the moment because 1-15 sucks. Watching Ryan Tannehill, end your season sucks. Watching Joe Philbin, watching Cam Cameron sucks. I get all of that. But I'm still watching. I'm still watching the preseason games all the way through the fourth quarter. There's no bandwagon when you're a real fan. We never got off of it. I never got off of it. I've never gotten off of it. I never will get off of it. I will be a Dolphins fan till my last breath. And in fact, I'll be rooting for the Dolphins when I'm in heaven. Or I don't know, maybe the big guy out there kicks me down to hell. I have no idea. Either way, I'm going to be rooting for the Miami Dolphins. There's no bandwagon. Bandwagon is for the teams that for the people that all of a sudden they want to become Golden State Warriors fans. Never followed the Warriors, but guy lives in Austin, Texas. Yeah, no, dude, I love what they're doing. Let me become a Warrior. That's a bandwagon. But if you're a real Dolphins fan, there's no bandwagon. You're either in or you're not. That's all. And if you chose not to follow and now's when you want to follow because they're winning, you were never a fan. You're not a fan. Not in my eyes. Real fans, they go through everything with their team. Every damn thing. They suffer every damn moment. They feel every ounce of pain. They feel the losses. They hurt, and they continue to hurt years later. Okay? Years later. Because I'm still not over Allen Houston's ball bouncing over the damn rim and then boom, right in. Never recovering from that. It's just the way it is. And these are the things, whatever moments you want to talk about, these are the moments that you never recover from. Why? Because you're a fan. There's no getting off the bandwagon if you're a real fan. There's just good seasons, bad seasons, good times, bad times, happy times, and frustrations. That's what it's supposed to be like. So this bandwagon shit, to me, those kind of people, they just don't mean anything to me as fans. If I know that you were never following, all of a sudden now you want to put on a hat and now you want to buy it, get the hell out of my face. Let me hang around the people that really care and really want to win and really feel the pain of the loss. Those are my kind of people. All right, let's get ready. Let's talk a little basketball. Anthony Chiang and our liquor split Miami Heat and NBA report next.
Let's tap into the latest with the Miami Heat and our liquor split app Miami Heat reports with insider Anthony Chiang. Liquor Split is Miami's own online liquor store. Download, then tap the app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split. Here's Anthony Chiang.
man, the myth, the legend that is Anthony Chiang. How you doing?
Doing good, Big O. How are you?
Very good. You grew up in this town, correct?
Yeah, Kendall.
So
yeah.
are you are you one of those media members that says, "Oh no, I can't root for a team," or "I'm not a fan of a team," or are you like me? I'm a media member, but I admit I'm a fan of all the teams and I want them all to win. But I'm going to say if they're not doing something right, I mean, I think my track record's pretty obvious that if you're not doing something right, I'm going to say, hey, man, I love the Heat, but I don't think they did this right. I love the Dolphins. I love the Panthers, but I don't think they did this right. Hell, what was I saying about the Panthers? They had 2 Robins. They need to go get a Batman.
Right, they did that.
They went and got their Batman. They obviously thought the same thing I did, right? I mean, when I said, hey, you got to fire Dale Talon, no one in town had the balls to say you got to fire Dale Talon. But eventually, they fired Dale Talon because it's what it is. You know what I mean? I love my team. So what kind of a media member are you? Can you compartmentalize? Can you say you are a fan, but you can cover it objectively?
I've kind of had my fanhood beaten out of me by the journalism gods, unfortunately. In journalism school, it's one of the biggest things we learn, and obviously it's still in. I grew up down here, right? So I want to see the teams do well. I can't deny that, but I'm not the same type of fan I was 10, 15 years ago, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. All right. I got you. For me, I do both, man.
I miss it, honestly. I miss it. Yeah.
I'm open about both. I will root for my teams, all my local teams, but again, I have to do my job.
Right.
And my job is to be objective and call it how I see. Doesn't mean it's right, because obviously doesn't mean I see everything the right way. That's bullshit. Sure. I mean, obviously I'm a human being, so I'm going to have a lot of faults and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. But for me, it's I have no problem with that. I always trip out with the people that I can't root for the team. I can't, come on. I get the people that come from out of town and
they have no tie.
Right. Yeah, they have no ties. I totally understand that. I believe those people. You know what I mean? But if you're born here and like you're raised watching those sports, how do you?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Do you know how much like gear and clothes I have of the Heat and the Hurricanes and the Dolphins that I just don't wear? Because it's just, but it is weird like that.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so it has gone just absolutely quiet now, dude. I mean, there isn't a peep out there. So what are we waiting for? What blink are we waiting for? What's the thing that's going to turn this over and get this moving? Because I got to feel that if, with this whole Celtic thing, I don't know how Miami can compete with the Celtics and what they could offer. So if you're Miami, doesn't it behoove you to start moving on to plan B and C now? But we don't see any kind of movement in that direction. It seems like the whole world is waiting on Durant, and this has kind of put the brakes on everything, man. Nothing is going on in the NBA.
Yeah, I think it's a big game of chicken, honestly. I think Brooklyn is asking, like we've talked about, for a lot. And teams are saying, okay, well, if you want that much, we're not going to give you that for a guy who's going to turn 34 in a couple months and is coming off a serious Achilles injury. Let's see if you really take him into camp, or the asking price gets lowered a little bit once the season gets closer. So I think, we're seeing which side, they're waiting to see which side's going to blink first, and that might decide what's going to happen here. But yeah, I think the Heat at this point, are they still alive in the Durant game? Sure, because Durant hasn't been traded anywhere, right? And they're one of the teams he wants to go to. But realistically, how much of a chance do they have to get him when they're not including Bam Adebayo in a trade? Probably little, right? So I think the Heat at this point, from just talking to people, they're prepared to move forward with this roster, at least to open the season. This is probably going to be the roster to open the season. I don't think they're going to make a trade for another guy, like a plan B, because like we've said, they need those first round picks. They need Duncan's salary to get, pull off this type of trade. And we don't know who's going to become available in 3, 4 months, 5 months. And they don't want to 5 months down the road say, why did we trade for Miles Turner? And all of a sudden, Damian Lillard's available once come to the Heat, but we don't have the pieces to do it. That would, they'd obviously regret that. So I think they're going to, unless something changes here and Kevin Durant pulls the ultimate power play and says, I want to go to the Heat and that's the only team I want to go to, this is probably going to be the roster to open the season.
And everything you said there makes actual total sense as I'm thinking about it, because you make the John Collins move, you make the Miles Turner move, you make the Harrison Barnes move. Are you a championship caliber team? Probably not.
They're a little better. They're a little better, obviously.
You're a little
but
better.
You're
a little better, but
yeah.
you're going to need all kinds of breaks and things to happen
for
you to get to the finals and then beat Golden State or whoever else is going to be there in the Western Conference. So why make that move and take yourself out of the Durant sweepstakes? Because if you make the Durant move, you have a shot at winning a title. Yeah. And that's the difference there. And just leave yourself. I get it. I totally understand it because by chance, if you're able to pull it off, even though I feel that the Celtics, as long as he's willing to play there, I don't know how Miami can beat the Celtics in any offer, quite frankly. I just don't.
I think if they include Bam, they could. We talked about this a couple of days ago, but they're not including Bam.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Bam. So if you're not including Bam, there's no way. Oh, not only that. Wait a minute. You know what I've said? Not only if you're not including Bam, but you must take Simmons.
Right.
The other teams will not have to take Simmons. Miami will have to take Simmons if they make this Durant.
Right.
Mark my words on this. Okay? Mark my words on this. That will be the difference maker in Miami's deal to Boston or Phoenix or Toronto or I don't know, any other wild team that may come into it. That will be the deal breaker. They say, no, we'll take Simmons from you as we're giving Bam. And then all of a sudden now that really makes a difference for them because you got Durant, but you unloaded the headache from them on Simmons.
Yeah. And as of now, look, things change, right? We've seen it. But as of now, Bam is not in part of any offer. And the expectation is that's not going to change. Obviously it could be negotiations and who knows what happens in 2 months, 3 months. But as of right now, I'd be pretty surprised if Bam was traded. It doesn't seem like that's in the cards right now.
No, I'm with you there. All right. So then if they're going with this roster, the power forward position is kind of thin.
Yeah. To say the least.
Holy moly, dude. I mean, you can't. Isn't there a minimum veteran out there? Don't they have those exemptions? Can't they use like half of one of those exemptions or something like that?
The problem is the expectation is Udonis is going to come back. So that's 14 players. That will put them within $200,000 of the luxury tax. Okay. If they sign a 15th player, they're in the tax. Which, again, it's not a big tax bill. It's not about the money. It's about, do you want to start the clock on a repeater tax for a minimum guy that's going to put you over the tax for, above only about $1 million? It could be right above the tax. It's not worth it. So I don't expect the Heat to sign a 15th player until later in the season where it's prorated enough where they could sign the guy and still stay below the tax. Maybe that's when they do it, like in February, March, something like that. But I don't see that happening in the next few weeks because they're not going to want to go into the tax for a journeyman guy just for depth on the roster.
Anthony, is that right that we've all been programmed this way about this whole tax thing with Mickey Harrison, who's a filthy rich billionaire? You say, well, is it worth it? Whatever, dude. Yeah, it's worth for him. He's got more money than God. What the hell's it to him? A couple extra $1 million.
I would say it's less about the money right now because the bill again wouldn't be much. But if you're
repeater tax, so what, dude?
No, that's limiting for roster building. That will cripple an organization. It is that punitive. So you want to keep that. You don't want to start their clock at all unless you really have championship team, and you're making the. I mean, obviously, if they get Durant, right?
And what's the excuse?
They don't care about going to the luxury.
What's the excuse for Golden State, dude?
Well, Golden State's gonna have some tough decisions to make here with Draymond Green, and
they've been making those tough decisions. They'll continue to make them, and they'll continue to pay people. They continue to. They paid a luxury tax this year that was large.
Yeah, they did. Huge luxury tax. Yeah.
I mean, this is what you're competing with. You're competing with other billionaires that are willing to pay taxes. I mean, if you're in baseball and you want to compete with the Cubs, the Boston Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Dodgers, Bubba, you better pay taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but
I love what Mickey Harrison is all about. The Harrison family has been absolutely fantastic, but they have programmed us way too much about this tax stuff.
Yeah, no,
I get it if you were a broke type of family that if you're a Mike Brown for the Bengals, if you're trying to think of what's a non-rich family, do they have one in the NBA that's been there in a long time, that's really kind of not really a spending, well, maybe a small market team.
Yeah,
I guess. Small market.
Sarver doesn't like to spend, right?
Well, he's a cheapo, okay, but he has the money.
No, he has, right. I'm saying doesn't like to spend, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cheapo, but he has the money. I'm talking about there are some ownership groups that just don't have the money.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like the people that own the Chargers, they can't compete with Stephen Ross. They don't have that kind of money. Mike Brown will not be able to do what the Browns owner did and put $250 million in escrow for his quarterback. He won't have that. He will have to take out a loan. Whereas Lerner from the Browns, he just wipes it out of his pocket. You know what I mean? And so that I just kind of feel that every time all of you guys write and talk about it, this tax thing is brought up, and I'm a little bothered by it because when you're filthy rich, I need you to treat this like a hobby. That's what I want you to do, bro.
I would just, as fans, we don't want to hear it, right?
No.
But you have to find a middle ground, because to pay $100 million in tax, like a tax bill like that, like Golden State's doing, and I mean, yeah, would it be great? Sure, as a fan, but that's a lot. That's a lot of money. I mean, you have to think about it's also a business as well.
Miami's never paid anything like that.
No, never. Ever. But that's the risk you take by going to the repeater tax. You could get $100 million tax bill, and that.
Yeah, but you don't have to get. That's $100 million. But I'm talking about if it's a couple million, it's 5, 10, 15, 20. Come on, dude.
Yeah, no, but if it's a repeater tax, you're talking about north of $50 million at least. It's
do you have a shot at winning a title? I mean, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I think.
Are you only thinking of money, or are you just thinking? Are you thinking of winning a title? What kind of a billionaire owner are you? Are you just thinking about the bottom line before the winning? I kind of like the owner or the family that's thinking about the winning before the bottom line, because the bottom line is not really that important. Winning is.
And the Heat has proven they'll go into the tax if it's a title team, but to add a 15th guy, like, I don't know, let's say hypothetically Markieff Morris, that's not making you a title team.
Oh, I know that.
A luxury tax for that. That's what I'm saying. Like, for this
type of move, Collins or a Miles Turner, why not? Or Harrison Barnes, it's a good player that you're at.
Right. But we just talked about it, right? That's not making them.
No,
that's not making them a title contender either. And that's a trade. They could find a way to get under the tax.
So the only reason to go to a tax is if you have a championship caliber team, not if you can get better and maybe challenge and no.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a little disappointing. That I have to admit that the talk of money is too much from the Miami Heat. Just too much from a family that wealthy. That's the thing. I just, there's just a part of me that part just kind of bugs me a little bit, because if I'm that wealthy, I probably would be more interested in winning than the profits. But I guess that's why he's a billionaire and I'm not.
Yeah, and also, again, it's just they've had a track record of success, right?
Yes.
They've been in the tax before. Sometimes you have to make business decisions and what's worth it or what's not. You can't go into the tax every year, and obviously, and you have to make.
They rarely go.
The last time they were in the tax was the bubble year when they made the finals, which was what 2021. I think.
And what did they
2020?
pay? And what did they
Oh,
pay?
little. It wasn't much. It wasn't much.
It's my point. They rarely pay taxes, dude.
Right.
For all the crying about taxes, you barely ever pay taxes, dude.
Big 3 years they were in the tax, a good amount, obviously, with those three, and that was obviously worth it, right?
I have a joke I could use for this right now.
What?
Yeah, he's used to doing it with his ships, so he's kind of doing it with his basketball team. All right, there you go. All right, what are you working on in the Miami Herald so folks can check you out?
Today I have a mailbag up just answering readers' questions. One of them is on Tyler Hero's extension. Someone asking, well, if the Heat are running it back, why haven't they signed Tyler Hero to an extension yet? Which is funny because likelihood is
maybe they don't want to pay the tax.
Well, signing to an extension will limit them immediately. I mean, they'll basically take him out of the Durant game. So what's the point of that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we're in the tax threshold. My God. Yeah, don't pay any taxes.
And Saturday, I'll have something from Bam Adebayo's youth camp in Kendall. So stay tuned for that.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. Download the app, iOS or Android. It is Miami's liquor store. Liquor split, baby. And remember, your first order, we're going to give you 15% off. Use the code BIG-O15, liquor split. Mr. Chiang, thank you, sir. Have a fantastic weekend and stay away from taxes.
Yeah, don't forget to file your taxes, Big O.
You got it.
See you.
That's the Liquor Split Miami Heat report.
You're now tapped into the latest with the Miami Heat. This has been the Miami Heat Liquor Split Report with insider Anthony Chiang. Download the Liquor Split app and enjoy your favorite drinks at wholesale prices. Delivered right to your door in minutes with a flat fee of $2.99. VIP lifestyle without the VIP prices. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
And am I wrong here? Am I really that off or something? Am I that badly off that it's just like a billionaire and I'm constantly worried about paying a couple bucks in taxes?
Yeah, but it's not a couple bucks.
For him it is.
$100 million?
No, he's not paying anything even close to that.
Well, no, but I understand that.
Whether it's 2 or 10 or 15 or 20. No, that's the Warriors because they've been repeaters. They've been paying.
No, but Anthony said once they get into the repeaters, it's up north of $50 million. So it'll jump up to just being a little. Is John Collins that player that's worth the $50 million?
Is your team worth winning? By adding John Collins, and are you adding something else? And all? I'm not saying you're not even going to get anywhere in $50 million with John Collins in the first year or second year. That's going to take a couple years for just one player to get the repeater tax to $50 million. The Golden State Warriors have been doing it with several players.
But you take yourself out of everything else too.
I get that, but I just. Every time I hear that I'm worried about paying the tax, and I understand you're worried about paying the tax if you're Bruce Sherman, but if you're Mickey Harrison, dude, you print money, man.
Yeah, but you've watched Pat Riley
do
this over and over without getting into the tax. So why now do I start?
Why do we have to make
tax?
life that much difficult for Pat Riley? Why do we have to make him David Copperfield of general managers? So he's got to be also a magician and a illusionist, so he's got to max out under a budget. That's a billionaire budget.
We all got budgets.
A billionaire budget.
Yep,
that's an oxymoron.
If you're a billionaire,
okay. My poor hard-working ass in a budget, that's normal. Your hard ass working with a budget, that's normal. A billionaire. A billionaire. Come on, dude. He's got arenas on the ocean flying around all over the place. Each of those boats are worth what an arena's worth. And they're maybe even more than some arenas. And they're all, flying around this damn ocean. Come on, man. He prints more money than the Federal Reserve.
So you're off the bandwagon?
No, I'm not. I'm complaining. That's what I'm doing. I'm complaining. I don't like hearing, You know, I'm sorry. I don't like cheapness. You know what I mean? All right.
But he's not. I mean, this is where I think it's funny in a way, though, is because you look at the Marlins. They're not paying even close to anything, right?
No, cheap.
Mickey Harrison is towing the line of going in and paying a luxury tax, and we're saying he's being cheap.
Yes. Yes.
I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah, there's that. It's not just this year. This whole tax thing. It's mentioned.
Oh no, it's all the time with the Heat. All the time. And I'm a little. Are they going to be buyers or sellers? It depends. Let's see where we're at with the luxury tax.
Well, I mean, they're not ever really sellers. But
but I'm saying, I mean, as far as what
do they buy enough is the
yes.
question.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know, it's like Mickey Harrison right now is the guy that's restricting his fine ass woman from using the credit cards, and Riley's the fine ass woman, right? And he wants to go out shopping. He wants to hit Neiman Marcus. You know, he wants to hit Bal Harbor, right? He wants to go to Louis Vuitton, right? Louis Vuitton never made a silk suit, and so he wants to do all of that. But Mickey's saying, no, vamos a Saire.
Dropping them off at Ross.
Yes, dress for less at Ross. TJ Maxx.
If Pat starts coming in without suits on, we know something's up.
Go look at Pat's sneakers.
No,
I bet you they say irregulars.
The stitching is off.
That's it. Next time you see Pat, you look at his shoes, go Bobos. They sell for $1.99. Bobos. They make your feet feel fine. All right. Devin Jordan, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Big O, did you see Tyreek Hill with the cool-ass Viper shades? Looks like old-school WWE Bret Hart. Okay, I'm going to go Macho Man Savage.
Yeah, a little bit. Little bit of both, because they had the outline on them.
Macho Man had
Macho. Well, yeah, but his had I think it was, I don't know what color it was. It looked
purplish, reddish.
Yeah, which is the hearts were pinkish. So, you know, Macho Man was more the neon colors,
right?
Whereas the Hart Foundation, was more
you would
of
know
the pinkish, which is why I think he's resembling.
I don't know who Jeff Hart is. I don't remember.
Tyreek
Bret Hart. I don't remember. Isn't he the guy that died?
No. Bret Hart has not died. No, he got kicked in the head by Goldberg.
Who's the guy that died that sounded like Hart?
There was Owen Hart, his brother.
Oh, he did die. Right.
Yeah,
that's
the one
it.
that
So I
fell
was right.
from
Okay.
in the ring at the show.
Okay. I was close.
Yeah.
It was a Hart.
I didn't. It was a Hart. Yes, it was.
Remember, I don't know anything about that.
I just wish Tyreek would have signed him and gave him to a media member.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Then I would say he's more like Bret Hart, because that was his whole thing. He would come out, he'd take him off, put him on a kid, and have his autograph and all that stuff.
That's
it was
badass.
More of a marketing thing, because then one kid got him, so then all the kids want him, and of course they're for sale out in the store.
Okay. That is but I love that he gave it to a kid.
Yeah, no.
That's fantastic.
For the most part, you'll get one giveaway.
That's fantastic. I love that. I love when they give it to the kids, man. According to Forbes, Harrison's wealth is estimated at $8 billion, and he, like Ross and other billionaires, have tax lawyers and accountants finding breaks. And by the way, how's Stephen Rawson spending? Any cheapness there? Just saying. I know Mickey's done a great job, but just saying.
Some training camp news, not Dolphins related, Tampa Bay Buccaneers related. Ryan Jensen, center, went down, carted off. Head coach Todd Bowles at the press conference said he suffered a knee injury at practice.
Oh, God. That's bad news for them, bro. Bad news. Big O, your guy Jensen just got carted off at Bucks camp. Mr. Pot is chiming in on there. Doesn't look good. I bet Treader just found his new home. Yeah.
Who was that said that?
Mr. Pot.
Mr. Pot, thank you, because I went. That's where I saw somebody said on the chat, and I went and confirmed.
There you go.
Thank you,
Smokey. Appreciate you. Terry says, Big O, don't you think Mickey Harrison is trying to recoup some of the money he lost on his cruise ships during the pandemic? Terry. Terry, come on. Terry. Stephen Ross, bro. Stephen Ross. Jorge Mas. He built a $175 million stadium for fun in Fort Lauderdale. That's what billionaires do. Billionaires bring an F1 race. Billionaires save a tennis tournament. Billionaires build a new practice facility. Billionaires put hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars into improving their stadium. That's what billionaires do. No excuses. Jorge Mas lost money in the pandemic. I'm sure Stephen Ross lost money with his buildings and all kinds of things. Everybody lost some kind of money, and I'm sure those rich people gained money too in the process. And by the way, Mickey Arison, because of the ships, he's been saving himself some taxes for a long time because those boats aren't registered here, my friend. They're usually registered, Bahamas or Panama or
anywhere
like
where
that?
You're not getting taxed.
Anywhere where you're not getting taxed. So
there's some island somewhere that's got them registered.
Let's stop with the excuses. I like Mickey Arison a lot. I respect the Arison family. But on this show, we call it like we see it. And when I look at Jorge Mas and when I look at Stephen Ross, they act like sports billionaires. When I look at Mickey Arison, I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. Okay? That's all. And I don't know how anybody's going to argue with me on this. I don't know how anybody has a leg to stand on with me on this when I'm telling you and I'm giving you examples of how billionaires are. Oh, I'm sorry. Apologies. Viola and Sifu. What are they doing at War Memorial now? Oh, building a practice rink, huh? Okay. All right.
And also, I was going to say, Stephen Ross is still building. Anybody that was there yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Or they're still building things at the practice facility, which is better for fans. I mean, I think what they're building now looks like where it's going to be interactive for some of the fans to look out onto the field. I mean, it's amazing.
Right. The whole practice thing is covered.
Oh,
it's got a roof.
One into the other. And it goes over a little bit. It's not like, again, maybe some part in the morning the sun might get in there, but for the most part, you're going to be undercover because it goes out over. It doesn't just stop right.
There's not one effing ounce of cheapness in Ross.
Nope.
There's not one effing ounce of cheapness in Viola and Sifu.
They built a concession stand there now, too.
I know. There's not 1 ounce of cheapness with Jorge Mas. But yet, every time we're talking about taxes and taxes and taxes. I'm sick of it, bro. Sorry. Apologies, but, that's a problem for you and me. Not a billionaire, not a filthy rich billionaire. What are you going to do? You're not taking the money with you. Did I get a tour of the new practice facility yesterday? I've already been through it, my brother. Greater good, billionaire or not, you don't waste $100 million and put Ben Simmons on your team. It won't be $100 million. Stop with that already. And if you're getting Kevin Durant, yeah, you take Ben Simmons. Hell yeah, you take Ben Simmons. Rosendo reminds everybody, J.C. Trotter has knee issues. Yeah, but at least his knees are somewhat put together at the moment and probably a little better than Jensen because obviously that's bad. Daniel Ryan says, been thinking about this. If Tua plays somewhat above average but not superstar level, does this mean second contract could be relatively at a discount versus Burrow, Herbert? Daniel, you're getting way ahead of yourself. Why don't you wait to see and let him actually play? And then we'll find out how good he is, how great he is, how average he is, how mediocre, how terrible, whatever you guys want to judge him. And then we'll decide the contract after that. I don't know why you need to get ahead of yourself on all that stuff. That's a waste of time. Yes.
Patriots training camp news. You ready for this?
Oh, God.
This is amazing.
Devontae
Mac
Parker.
Jones' first pass in 11 versus 11s goes to Devontae Parker, who makes a great back shoulder catch on Jalen Mills, who had tight coverage for the touchdown. The Devontae Parker show continues.
There we go.
They have named it the Devontae Parker show in New England.
I love it. Devontae Parker headed to the Hall of Fame.
Devon Godchow got paid by the Patriots, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Like 2 year, $20 million or something.
17.5 guaranteed.
Yeah. I saw that yesterday. That was
Patriots
nice.
racking up on those old Dolphin players.
Yeah. Short contract, too, to get in and out. Sabalos is asking Big O, which home game should I go to this season? I don't have the list in front of me, George, but I don't think there's a bad game to go to. I think you go to any game, bro. Just be at a Dolphin game. It'll be fun. The rich get richer by avoiding taxes. Yep. Is that why we're poor and we work hard? Because all we do is pay our taxes. Oh, man. All right. 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. When we come back, we will start hour number 2. Alan Poupar will be joining us from Dolphins training camp, if he can. We'll talk to Marcel Louis-Jacques also, David Dwork. Jordan Schultz will join us at noon. Loaded show for you. Back with hour number 2 from beautiful Hialeah Park in the second floor poker room right here at HialeahParkCasino.com.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
You viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we are, ready to rock and roll. Hour number 2 from Hialeah Park. Yes, sir. NorCal says, sorry, I'm late. Class today. Instructor O just locked in group tickets to Chargers versus Fins in LA. Lower seats, $180 each. Who's rolling with us? Fins for life. You gotta love it. NorCal is a maniac. Awesome. So we've got the Patriots players. They are the defenders. The defensive backs are playing with mitts on their hands. Yep, that's how they're defending the receivers today, with mitts on their hands. It's also a home ec class. They're cooking too at the same time. So when they come to the sidelines, they're ready to go to the oven and turn stuff over and things like that. So pretty cool that Belichick has got a mix of, cooking and football at the same time. So that'll work out. I think that's pretty crafty on their part. As Devontae Parker, the second coming of Devontae Parker is there with the New England Patriots. How long does he stay healthy is the question. That will be the question. Okay? All right. That's right. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm just looking at something on Twitter there. Make sure somebody got it right. I wanted to talk about something on the Dolphins that I also, and I think we've kind of talked a little bit about this, but it's a change, and there's no doubt that you can tell something happened in the offseason. And what I mean by that, let me explain this, okay? What I mean by that is, when you look at everything that they did this offseason, it was unlike the prior off seasons here. And one of the things that when I'm in the building yesterday, when I'm on the field, when I'm talking with players, people inside the building, the difference between that building where it was last year and the year before and where it is now is night and day. And it's not just about not having flow in the building and the place uncomfortable and all that other crap that comes with it. Yeah, we all know that that's definitely an issue, right? But the other thing that I think really stands out to me was the roster. And when I look at all the moves they made, and it was moves that they had to make, they needed to add veteran linemen to this line, but they didn't last year. Why? Why would that make any sense that you would go with 4 linemen with no experience and a journeyman in Jesse Davis? That's because it had nothing to do with the front office. That's because it was influenced through the head coach. The whole Brissett to a mess and all that, the fact that you would even think Brissett could be better, that's all flow. The not wanting Flowers and everything from the get-go in the last offseason, and Miami having to get rid of Flowers and Van Noy after 1 year after acquire, that was all flow. And it created all kinds of problems. Everything, all these decisions that were influenced by the head coach. And the same head coach that didn't want Tua around was the entire time trying to talk everybody into going to get Watson. And you've seen how that mess has turned out. And now you look at it, and there is no mess. There's no storylines that are negative. There are no fighting amongst front office and coaches or disagreements with players, and we're not seeing players that clearly don't like Flo, and Flo clearly not liking certain players or not being fans of them, i.e. Tua, i.e. Gesicki, whatever. And then you look at all the moves. Because in prior seasons, would you have made a move for Tyreek Hill like this that also followed by a Teron Armstead move and a Connor Williams move? And all? No. You would have never been able to do this if Flo would have been here. You would have never had the vibe that you have right now if Flo is here. You would have had contention. You would have had disagreements. You would have had uneasiness. There would be an uncomfortable situation in that building. And that's one of the things also that you look at what's going on with the Dolphins. They needed this injection of free agent talent because they have been drafting already. But Flo kept going young and young and young, and he proved it again last year. When last year they needed to make an Armstead, Connor Williams type move, and he chose not to. Somehow or another, he thought that his coaching staff would develop 4 young linemen out of nothing. He thought he had Dante Scarnecchia coaching with him, who is one of the great offensive line coaches of all time and a longtime assistant coach of Bill Belichick, and was responsible for so many of their successes along the offensive line in Scarnecchia. And he probably thought that, his guys can do a lot of the things that Scarnecchia has done, when most people never do what Scarnecchia has ever done, or even come close to whatever he's done. All of that crap that went on under that guy, I think this is why things are going to get exposed this year for Flo. And what I mean by that, and I kept referencing this last year, and I mean this in an endearing way, because I don't really mean it in a negative way, but it is kind of insulting. But you idiots that kept focusing on the win streak in the second half of the season and crediting Flo for everything, you kept forgetting about the 1-7, you morons. Oh, the team stayed together, this, that. Well, maybe they stayed together because they're pros. Maybe because they did a good job of bringing players that have some character. Not because of Flo. Because they went 1-7 also because of Flo. Just like they won the games in the second half, if you want to say because of Flo. And I think what's going to get exposed is that this team was better than it was supposed to be last year. That better than what you saw last year, in other words. And if you had better coaching, you would have been in the playoffs. And that's why he got fired. Not just because he's an asshole, not just because he was creating all kinds of issues. It's because that front office and the owner, they got together and they looked at it and said, this team should have been in the playoffs. The 1-7 is what put us there. And that guy alone created just an absolute mess when actually he had it pretty good. And if he actually lets the front office do their job instead of him thinking he's the front office also, they might have done better. Now, Flo is out. Great thing. McDaniel's in. Let's see if he can get it done. But there's no doubt he's created a much better environment for the players, and the front office, without Flo in the way, is able to build a much better team and a deeper team, because everybody to a man, one of the things, talking with other media members, everybody was pretty impressed with the roster overall. That's not normal. As a Dolphins fan or a media member, you're rarely looking at a roster going, wow, this is a pretty damn good roster top to bottom. Very few holes, very few issues. No team's going to be perfect, but damn, they got a pretty good roster here. That's these guys in the front office building this. You take that element out, that's what's changed a lot with the Miami Dolphins. That one element. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. 10:56. Don't forget, Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines is celebrating their 14th anniversary, folks. 14 years they've been doing it right. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you, man, whether it's Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, great people, Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber in the service department. 12 straight years as the number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States, and the 2023 models are already rolling in. Check out the 2023 Integra. It is absolutely phenomenal at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Last night we had a little luck in our liquor split matchup of the night. Why don't we get to it now? Why don't we get to our liquor split matchup of the night?
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
Last night, we told you, take Cincinnati minus 1.5. Why? Because Braxton Garrett, he's done a decent job, but he's a little up and down. And plus, Castillo's been a pretty decent pitcher. Well, we won by another half run again, Sean. It's a beautiful thing. Boy, they are good in Vegas. 5-3, the Reds won. Garrett allowed 5 earned runs in 5 innings and 7 hits, had 8 Ks. J.J. Bleday got his first home run of his short career so far. That was nice. He got a solo in the 4th inning. At 12:35, in a little over an hour, they will wrap up the series with the Reds. And in this one, the Reds are favored by 1.5. The over and under is 9.5. Miami is plus 115 on the money line, and the Reds are minus 135 on the money line. And when I look at this game, 12:35 game, they've got Graham Ashcroft on the mound. He is, as they say, toeing the slab. He's 4-2 with a 4.7 ERA. Daniel Castano. And Daniel Castano, by the way, has not pitched bad. He's got a 3.86 ERA, a 1.4 whip. He's got 20 Ks in 35 innings, and he's got 9 walks, too. Now, Daniel started off pretty well, and then he's kind of tapered off a little bit, if I remember correctly. His last outings, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 innings, 5 earned runs. So he's got 9 innings and 8 earned runs in his last 9 innings. So that's not good. Remember, he started off pretty well. Now he's kind of lost a little bit of his mojo. Castano, tonight, I'd love to go with the Marlins, but I can't. I'm going to ride Graham Ashcroft. I'm going to ride the Reds on this one. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs. I got to go in this direction because, again, with no Jazz Chisholm in the lineup, that offense is one that you really can't trust, actually. That's the problem with Miami's offense. You just can't trust it. They just don't have enough to produce on a consistent basis. And for the Reds, they're not facing a great pitcher. And Ashcroft hasn't been fantastic either. He allowed 4 earned runs in his last outing against St. Louis and 3 earned runs against the Yankees. Now, that is the Yankees and St. Louis. He did limit the Mets to 2 earned runs also. Not a great pitcher either. But I'm going to go with the Reds offense over the Marlins offense in this one. Unfortunately, I'm going to lay the 1.5 here. I'm going to go with Graham Ashcroft. I'm going to lay the 1.5 runs. Let's go Reds. That's my liquor split matchup of the afternoon.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download and tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Well, hey, listen, here in Miami, you got to get tickets on the website for the training camp practices. They're all sold out. It's not sold like money, but it's printed out or whatever. So all the tickets are gone. It is a complete, I don't know, if it's not called a sellout because it's not sold, they're given out. So I don't know what's the term. What term would you use for something that is completely full? Access has been completely assessed. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how you would phrase it. But anyway, all the free tickets have been given out. No more space left for Miami Dolphin fans to join us here at practice. But I have an option for you. Okay? Why? There are plenty of seats available for the Washington Commanders practices. Yes, sir. Nikki Vala, I think is how it's pronounced. I think it's something like that. She was with the Denver Broncos. She does an excellent job, by the way, and she covers now the Washington Commanders instead of the Denver Broncos. And at this point, she probably wishes she was back covering the Denver Broncos. But Nikki showed us a picture of the fanfare there in Washington. Everybody is so excited about, look at all the folks lined up for Commanders practices. Telling you, man. I mean, you all out there, if you really want to enjoy practice and you really want to get a good feel and an ambiance, you go to Washington Commanders practices. I'm telling you, there you go. You can bring the friends, you can bring the family, you can bring the friends of family, you can bring the family of friends, you can bring maybe your entire corporation out. I mean, there is space, lots and lots of space to be had right there for the Washington. Lots of elbow room, lots of breathing space. You know, in Washington for the Commanders practices, they are still practicing social distancing, clearly, at Washington Commanders practices. There you go. That place, look at that. It is rocking. Look at the buzz of that place. Is that impressive or what? Boy, people are jacked up about the new Commanders season. Yeah. What's that?
How's the stadium going to look? I mean, I get
that. Oh, they
they're
keep
seated,
tarping off more and more of it
Man,
in the
it's
second
just-
level. Yeah. Dan Snyder, bro. Dan Snyder. It's what I told you all about what you had to do with Jeffrey Loria, but you seam heads out there, you don't have any balls. And so you didn't do it. And you know, a lot of you here in South Florida were part of the problem, not the solution with baseball. I told you years ago never to go to a baseball game. An empty stadium needed to be had. That's what they have to do to the Washington Commanders. You need to embarrass the league to a point that they have to force the owner out. And the only way you do it is if no one shows up. Problem is, you always have this group of loser fans that don't understand that. And they are so fanatical that they're willing to keep somebody around that's terrible, that's bad for you. And Jeffrey Loria and people like Daniel Snyder should not own teams. They're bad people. They're not just bad owners. Look, man, we can vote in bad presidents. We can vote in bad teacher presidents. We can vote in whatever. That happens. But when you're evil on top of all of that, that's terrible. That's just terrible. That's the part that needs to be, when you're Donald Sterling like, when you're Jeffrey Loria like, when you're Dan Snyder like, Martin Schott, that's disgusting. Those are the kind of people, that's where we have to draw the line as fans. That's where we have to say, for the better of the team, for the better of the players, we cannot. We have to make a strong stand against them. Remember what happened with the Dodgers? The owners were in the middle of an ugly divorce and all that kind of stuff. And Dodger fans stopped going. And I think they crossed the 2 million mark only instead of 4 million. And that's a lot of people to lose, right? And it was getting worse and worse. And so before it got worse, they finally said, oh, man, we got to get out of here. And I think you've got to do that to that point. You've got to do to people like Snyder and Loria. That's what I wanted every year here down the stretch. I kept telling people, whenever you went to a Marlin game, I called you part of the problem. You didn't help us at all. You helped keep Loria around. You helped him make $1 billion. All you folks that bought tickets for Loria and you bought that little stupid shirt and hat with that silly ass Maroon 5 logo on it and all that, you're part of the problem. That's just the way it is. And anybody going to a Commanders game, you're a moron. You're part of the problem. If you paid for season tickets to go to the Commanders, you're a disgrace. You don't really want what's best for your team. Because Dan Snyder cannot be what's best for your team. Jeffrey Loria cannot be what's best for your team. Marge Schott cannot be what's best for your team. You know, Donald Sterling cannot be what's best for your team. No. Those are evil people. You cannot want people like that owning your teams. And that's where those are the few times in history where we have to band together as fans and draw the line. But the problem is there's some of you that just don't have enough balls to do it. And you Marlins fans that went down the stretch during the Loria years, you're the ones that had no balls. None. You were part of the problem. Pablo says, I disagree. I think where Ross has failed in is hiring coaches. I don't know what that old logo is the best, whatever. Ross got Tyreek Hill. I don't know. Of course, the Commanders fans are pumped. They got Carson Wentz at QB. Hell yeah. Full capacity. Is Orlando Brown still available? He was never available. I bet we'll be too clueless to wear out throwbacks on primetime against the Bengals when they wear the white Bengal uniforms. Commanders shouldn't have changed their name. Well, that's a whole different subject. Ken Rosa says, Big O, I am in Miami for your streams for a couple of months. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you. Dougie Fresh says, I live in D.C. half the year, and one thing is certain. 99% of the fans hate Snyder. 50% that still go to the games are either in the past John Riggins or talking about the future. Well, those idiots need to stop going to games, Dougie Fresh. Why would you keep helping Daniel Snyder stay in power? Do you know how embarrassing, look how embarrassing it is for practice to look like that. Do you know how embarrassing it would be to have no one in the stadium on opening day? That would be so awesome. In fact, the only people at the stadium would be the visiting fans. That it would be so awesome if no Redskins fans went to the games. That's when the league would hey, Dan, we got to get you out of here, dude. Your fan base won't even support you ever again. We can't have that. I bet you that if you get them to sell and you bring a new owner, the stadium will be sold out. Those people will be happy to go back no matter what's on the field. They'll just be happy to have Daniel Snyder out. But you idiots that continue to go, well, you're a cancer. You're part of the problem. You're not helping it. Yes.
Carolina Panthers training camp. I'm following all the reporters here on this one. Update on the quarterback situation.
Mayfield already threw interceptions and stuff. He was
Sam
off.
Darnold, short completion to Kirkwood. Short completion to Brown. Baker Mayfield comes in. Great TD throw to DJ Moore for 20 yards deep over the middle. TD pass to Rashid Higgins. Good throw. TD pass dropped by McCaffrey in traffic. Every TD pass, easy TD pass to DJ. So today he must be on.
Right, yeah.
But it's funny how Sam Darnold's turned into the short passer now, and then
he's kind of
you start seeing the angle. I'm not saying that Sam Darnold was going to be the quarterback, but you can see the angles that are.
Well, Baker's going to sling it.
Yeah,
He's going to sling it. He was slinging it yesterday. And so that's just the way it is. And he's going to keep doing it. And he's going to live and die.
Sometimes you can hit the wrong color.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully he was on to them. I mean, he's going to be the starter. You don't go back to Sam Darnold, dude. I mean, you've seen enough of Sam Darnold. You know, Baker at least was injured last year. So he has that legitimate excuse. You got to, you bring him back healthy now. Give him a chance. You'll see if he can play or not. Big O, I hadn't heard that Bobo song in about 40 years. There you go. Yes, sir. We try to weave in all kinds of things to trip you out and bring some things back. There were a couple other things that I said there. I don't even know if some of you even picked up on some of the other stuff that I said there too. There were a couple of things there, not just that one. Darnold sees ghosts. That is awesome. All right, we're gonna get send Poupart a thing there. See if he's got a link already, but check in with him and see because he's at camp. He may not be. I don't know if he's available or not. Right, I know, but that's why I need to know if he's adjusting there because he didn't give me a specific time. Because we got to kind of play it by ear since he's there. Him and Marcel. We have those two guys there. If he does it later, you know what we could do? Call Dwork and see if he wants to come in early. And we can get Dwork in early. That's what we'll do. And we'll get our Oki report in a little early. Jordan Schultz will join us at noon. All right? Big O, don't know if you know those Commanders practice are open to the public. They are. They are open, and barely anybody's showing up. We just showed you the pictures. They're open to the public. Those are media type of people that are there. You can tell those are fans. They're there in Skins colors and Skins chairs and stuff like that. Media members don't show up with anything of the team. As much as I'm a Dolphins fan, you won't see me wear anything Dolphins to the Dolphins practices. Just not professional. It's not professional, man. You don't do that. You don't wear Dolphins to Dolphin practice. You don't wear Heat to Heat practice. Okay? You don't wear a Panther shirt to Panther practice. You don't do that. It's not the right thing to do. Just telling you. What else do we have going on? Remember, 855-912- 1056. Yeah, he just sent me something too now. Alan, yeah, that's why I asked him too. Like, yo, what's up? What does? So we'll get see if we can get Dwork now. See, what did he say? Okay, good. See if Dwork will come on now, and that way we can get, because Dwork is set for 1. We'll get Dwork on earlier, and as we get those guys a little later on the show. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see. Big O, the local news showed the pic of McDaniel took with the journalist. Saw you and Poupart. Very cool. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Poupart was in that picture. Joe Shad was there. Omar Kelly took the picture, and he wasn't in it. He took a selfie without himself in it. You gotta love it. Omar is such a good dude, and he is a great sport on top of all of that. Yesterday, I'm busting his balls because his phone is old, and he just rolls with all this stuff. He is such a good person, man. Whether you agree or disagree with his Dolphins opinions or whatever, get over it. He's a good dude, okay? Because, hey, half the time I probably disagree with him, but I love him to death, man. He is such a good person. He really is. Big O, can't remember the last time I was so hyped about a Dolphin season. Can't wait to see the haters have to say when Tua balls out. Thank God we got rid of Flores. Okay. All right, cool. Darnold is proof you can take the football player out of the Jets, but you can't take the Jets out of the football player. Big O, yesterday I saw you chase Tua off the stage. Well, I was trying to sack him. I don't know if you saw it. I was reaching, trying to sack him, but he picked up some speed and pulled away from me, and I couldn't catch him. But yeah, I was there. So what? The video shows like when he walks off, I walk off behind him. I didn't know that. I didn't watch the video of Tua because I was at it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't watch I guess the Dolphins feed had it. Yeah, that's probably Ours looked like Sean was having an epileptic seizure.
Let me tell you something. I was gonna start throwing bows. I did not want to get kicked out the first day of camp. I was so tired of getting. I have bruises on my arms from elbows. Look, if you don't have a camera, then step to the side. Let the camera that we have built up get the action. Instead, you got everybody trying to get their phones. I have a phone to my right cheek. I have a phone to my left cheek. There's one guy just throws his phone up in the middle of the camera. I was this close.
You got to start throwing some elbows, bro.
I was going to take off the badge so they didn't know where I was from.
The Sean Stanley needs to come out, bro.
Unfortunately, I went out with the Big O shirt and the hat. I would have had to take I would have been in the white beater. I'd have been out of the white beater so they'd know who I was tagged with.
Well, then that would have been good. That would have been a good look. White beater
and
like
you're
Aaron
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers
you
showing
saw
up
that?
Camp. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers showing up to camp.
And I apologize to everybody. I know some were commenting on it. It will be better. I'm going to take the
Hey, it looked like he was having a seizure.
Yeah, well, I was getting bumped.
Go look at our Tua video.
Just not even the Tua. Every video. Raheem Mostert. You would have thought that people had never seen him before, like he was a rock star. I was so the tripod's going up. I got an XLR cable.
And you got to lift it up high, the tripod, so that way it looks
ready.
down.
What I'm
so that way you don't have
is,
any of these reporters get in front of you.
What happened was they were hitting the news cameras, but they were tripping over the tripods. What I noticed was the experienced cameramen, they put their foot out a little bit closer to their camera, to their tripod.
So you run into the foot
into
first.
their foot and trip before you end up hitting their stuff.
Right,
so
there you go.
I will tell you this much now.
All right.
I may be taken out in handcuffs, but I am not going to have any more Rocky videos.
That's it. No more Rocky videos. No more epileptic videos. No more seizures. Oh, man. Too much.
Also, somebody asked about who you would take between me and Kim Bocamper in a cage match.
I'm going with you.
Kim Bocamper. Bring it, buddy. Bring it.
I'm going with the Sean Stanley at this point. 10 years ago, I go with Bo. Now I'm going with Sean Stanley at this point. Oh, can Sean put homies in headlocks at pressers and have Lenny the Locksmith sponsor it? Yep. That's it. It's the lockdown segment right there.
Oh, we could get a stamp.
Yeah,
put him in a headlock.
When he puts him in a headlock, I'm going to take a picture and then we'll put the lockdown on it right there. It's the lockdown segment. I love it. Hey, LennyLocksmith.com. Lock it down. Yeah, baby. You got it, Dougie Fresh. That's how we do it on this show. Big O, or you can have an image stabilizer on your camera. Nano Filmmaker, listen, man, when you want to add to the budget and you want to start buying stuff for us, I love all you guys out there. Hey, you can do this, you can do that. Come on over, bro. Let's go, because, it's like, why do you have commercials? Oh, why are there commercials? Well, because none of this is free. It might be free that you're watching, but it costs money to do all the things that we're doing. So, you are the Nano Filmmaker. So Nano Filmmaker, if you want to donate a image stabilizer for our cameras or a camera that has image stabilizing, come on over. Make the donation. Cash App or Venmo. How much does that cost? Cash Big O Show. Nano Filmmaker. Make the donation there. There you go. You don't have to give us the thing physically. Tell me the model number. Send us donate the money, and we'll have Sean go buy it right away, and we'll thank you for it. Okay? All of this costs money. This mic flag, this windscreen, the cables, the iPads.
And then also, this is one thing we've been talking about and discussing doing this, but it wasn't like we said, okay, it was kind of like, all right, let's head out to camp this week, and we were seeing how everything was going to roll. This is something new for me, as far as I've sat in the seats and, gotten audio before, but the first time I've actually been out having to battle and play NBA center in the 80s and 90s for camera space.
There you go. Yes, sir. Big O, Chiefs signed Carlos Dunlap for a 1-year, $8 million deal. Good for them. They need the pass rush. Let's see. John Moxley locked down Rush last night, Sean. Buy from sponsors. Keep Big O and Sean. Yes, please. Definitely. Use our sponsors. That's how you're going to keep us around, dude. Sloman's Home Shield. 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right? 1-800-ALARM-ME. By the way, Nature B is for me 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals and powerful antioxidants. And right now we got a great special going on. You buy 2 months, you get the third month for free. You use our code Big O. You're also going to get free shipping. So free shipping and the third month is free. And I tell you all the time, I take those 2 golden capsules every day. It boosts the hell out of my immune system. I rarely ever have a cold. Energy sustained throughout the day. Stronger nails, smoother skin, fuller hair. So many benefits from it, folks. I know I've been feeling it for 20 years. My family has, and it's all natural. It's grown in clean, green New Zealand. And again, it comes right from Mother Nature, not from some lab somewhere. That's why the kids can take it. Adults can take it. It's all natural. I'm telling you, you are going to love it. So check it out. Go to naturebee.com. Order 2 months. The third month is free, and the shipping is free. Use our code Big O, naturebee.com. All right, let's talk a little Okie. And our man David Dwork is ready to go, ready to lock it down. Let's talk some Panthers with Dwork next.
Time for the Lockdown segment with Florida Panthers insider David Dwork. This lockdown is brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com. Here's WPLG Local 10 insider David Dwork.
How you doing, my brother? You doing all right?
All good, all good, man. You good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good now. I was talking with Goldie yesterday. I was like, brother, they got their alpha, man. They got the guy they needed, and he was pretty much in total agreement. I think it's one of those things that I think a lot of people finally came to that realization that, yeah, you had 2 phenomenal players at the top, but one of them needed to be an alpha, and neither one was. And while they're leaders in their own way, by example, you still need the guy that rattles cages. And yesterday, while I was at Dolphins camp, I'm looking at Tyreek Hill and I'm looking at Teron Armstead, and I'm saying that's what Chris Greer did too. He said, I need to go add a couple more alphas inside that locker room. And he went and got himself one. And I think that's what Bill Zito, when you see him in that press conference, that's why he's giddy like a little kid.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he got himself an alpha right now.
Yeah, it was funny in that press conference. There was a few times where Zito kind of was in the middle of complimenting Kachuk, and then he turns to him and he's like, "Yeah, don't listen too much to this." So there's definitely, like, you could see how thrilled he was to bring in a player like this, and like what he called him a unicorn, because as you said, he's highly skilled in terms of like offensive talent. He's got these great hands. He can swerve from anywhere on the ice. He deflects the puck. He does all different things. He's also a very good passer, which doesn't get talked about because he's such a good goal scorer. But I think the big difference,
he had 60-something assists last year, dude. Please.
Yeah. The thing about his game that I think Panther fans are really going to appreciate, just because of how they've learned to appreciate their captain, is that Kachuk is a really good 200-foot player. Like, he's a good defensive player. He takes his defensive responsibilities very seriously. And that's something, and it wasn't like it was a deficiency in Jonathan Huberdeau's game at all, but it certainly wasn't like an area of expertise the way it is with Sasha Barkov, where he could argue he's just as good in the defensive zone as he is in the offensive zone. Matthew Tkachuk is in that area where he puts a lot of, I wouldn't say pressure on himself, but he puts a lot of work in to be good on both ends of the ice. And that's something that really hasn't been discussed much as this whole trade has come about and the fallout since. I think that's something that Panther fans are going to be really surprised maybe to see if they didn't know about it already, but certainly just another element to his game, as you were saying, because he can do so much. He brings so much to the table.
Let me ask you something. When we talk about the way this offense is run, does it change now with him in any way, shape, or form, having a guy like that, or is it the same offensive scheme? And maybe this is way too early to even talk about this, or I don't even know if you've been able to, try to talk to somebody in the organization about something like this. Does anything change offensively having a guy like that at the top?
I don't know if Kachuk is going to change. The thing about, like, there's a new coach coming in, right? So we don't know yet if they're going to be running. I'm guessing, if, in my opinion, it's going to be somewhat different. I mean, Paul Maurice already said when the Panthers hired him that one area that they're going to be different is that they're going to be much more responsible defensively and maybe not play so balls to the walls that they did last year, where they were the team that got the most rush opportunities in the NHL. And that was a two-way thing. They gave up a lot as well. So I think that's more of a coaching question. I think Paul Maurice, whatever style he implements, certainly Matthew Tkachuk will be able to fit in, just because, as I was just saying, he's so good on both ends of the ice. But one thing, that kind of your question has me thinking about is in terms of placement in the roster, placement in the lineup. I would like to see him and Sasha Barkov on different lines, the way that Barkov and Huberdeau were on different lines. I think you spread it out. I think because Tkachuk is not just a goal scorer, while he is an alpha player, I think he's got such a well-rounded game. I think it would behoove Maurice and the Panthers to have him and Barkov split up, just because they can both do so much. And look at how Huberdeau had, his line mates flourishing last year with Sam Bennett and whoever was on that right wing, whether it was Anthony Duclair at times, that was Giroux at the end of the season. There was always somebody producing there. And obviously Barkov and Verhaeghe have their good rapport on the top line. You could put Sam Reinhart up there. You could put Anthony Duclair up there. There's a lot of options, but I would like to see the two of them split up.
Is that a good thing?
On the power play. Except on the power play.
Okay.
He'll be net front in the power play. That was the other thing I wanted to mention about your question. Power play wise, scheme there, I would think, just because he's so big and such a badass and he's really good in front of the net, that would be where I'd pop him. Have him as that net front guy. You have Sam Reinhart go back to being the bumper in the middle between the circles, and then let your skill guys on the outside. You got Barkov, you got Huberdeau, whether it's Duclair, you could give Verhaeghe a shot up there. I would really like to see him, and I think they're going to use him in those dirty, grimy areas, including on the power play, where I would hope he's going to get put in the front of the net just because he was so good at that in Calgary.
Interesting stuff. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, by the way, at David Dwork, and catch his work with Chirping the Cats podcast, as he's always. When's the next one, by the way?
I just put one up a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. I kind of went through all the best sound from that press conference that we were just talking about and kind of put it into terms a little bit, then I layered it out. Just what I thought was cool. I was able to edit it and put it all together. So I put that out a couple days ago. It's available. All your favorite podcasts can be found.
All right. Beautiful thing. All right. When we look at Huberdeau now, poor guy. Listen, I had no problem with the trade. I wanted to move Huberdeau for a star. So I was the first guy with that stuff. But I do feel for the guy. He gave everything here. He was obviously a loved player. I saw your post with your kid, because your son is a big Hubie fan. And I saw you post also, obviously, that he was not happy. So talk to us a little bit about what you've learned with the Huberdeau situation.
Yeah, I mean, when it first happened, I a source very close to the situation told me that basically, Huberdeau was obviously, as the rest of us were, caught off guard. But the way it all played out, They had just started within the last, couple weeks prior, kind of getting into the negotiations between Huberdeau's agent and Bill Zito and his guys in the Panther side. They were just kind of starting to ease into that process. Everything looked good. Huberdeau wanted to stay. And then all of a sudden, nobody saw it coming that Tkachuk would be available, that he'd want to come to Florida. And there was a move that could be made. It's just kind of the shitty side of the business. Because, just like you, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Huberdeau. I've been covering him since he first, was drafted, since he first came to the Panthers. He's always been a very nice person off the ice, very, willing to speak, very honest guy. There's not a bad thing to say about him. It's just an unfortunate situation, the way it all played out. And the way it played out obviously caught him off guard. He wasn't, who would be happy in that situation? I mean, it's not like, I don't know if he's holding any grudges. I couldn't answer that question, but it's just a bad part of the business, and you get caught up in it. And that's what happened with Jonathan Huberdeau. If Tkachuk wouldn't have been available, they'd be ironing out the details on his extension right now.
Right.
So it was just a very unique situation.
Yeah, they got caught. They were also apparently they were caught by surprise that this guy even became available. So
yeah,
that's why they were starting already negotiations with Huberdeau, and then this ends up happening, and this becomes a blessing in disguise. And I gotta feel that Hubie doesn't stay there, right? I
don't know. It is a Canadian team and a Canadian market, and that's something that I'm sure he entices him and Mackenzie Weegar, both guys.
They're going to have to overpay.
Somebody's going to overpay for him, but he's earned it. And if he goes out this season and has another 100-point year and continues to look the way he's looked the last few years and grow his game, no reason why he shouldn't get 10+ million over 6-7 year term. If it's Calgary, they can give him as long as they as they're able. I think would be 7. No, he can get 8. I think he can still get 8 right up until before next summer, before the next free agency window opens up next July. But I guess you could say, the glass half full for him and Weegar is that the ball is in their court now. They can really have a lot more control over what they want to do. They can decide to stay in Calgary if they like it there, or they can hit free agency. I mean, Huberdeau, there's been, already whispers about him going to his hometown team in Montreal if he decides not to stay in Calgary, which I'm sure would be really cool for him and his family. Mackenzie Weegar is from Ottawa. That's a team that's up and coming as well. So, I mean, their options are on the table for them. But right now, I think, just like the rest of us, they're both just trying to get their feet back on the ground and get their wits about them and say, holy shit, I've been rooted in South Florida for a long time, both of them. And all of a sudden they're moving, not even cross country, cross continent, and, uprooting their lives. They've got to continue their careers. It's a tough time for them. So I would imagine, if I were either of them, I'd be kind of taking my time and letting everything settle down. And fortunately for them, they'll be able to have their options. They'll be able to make their decisions and have a bit more control, which I think will be a nice piece of solace based on the way that this week played out for them.
South Florida to Calgary, freeze your ass off. Yeah, no, that is a shocker. My prediction is Huberdeau ends up somewhere else, and they overpay and keep Weegar there. That's what I, because they're going to have to justify the trade one way or another. So they're going to have to keep somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, they're pretty stacked on defense now. Like, you could argue they've got 5 top caliber defenders on that team. So you wonder if Calgary's going to have to move someone out, or how they're going to handle that if they do want to keep Weegar, just because they've got so many good, talented guys on that back end. And it's interesting with the options that Calgary has now, because they can move a lot of different pieces with Huberdeau and Weegar, or with other guys in their roster. It was funny just because, 2 weeks ago, we're talking about how, holy shit, Calgary's window is suddenly closing with Johnny Gaudreau leaving and then Tkachuk leaving. They've bought themselves a little time. For nothing else. We'll see what they do with it, but they bought themselves some time.
Forsling now becomes a more important player now with Weegar out.
I would imagine he's going to get more minutes. I don't know if it's going to be Forsling or maybe Brendan Montour that gets a look on that top pairing with Aaron Ekblad once training camp gets here. Either way, like Montour, I think really stepped up last season when Ekblad got hurt. Forsling, we knew already his game had been growing from the previous year when Ekblad was hurt, and when it was Weegar and Forsling on the top pairing, and both did a really good job with it. Right. So I think that there's options there. it'll depend on, I guess, how Paul Maurice wants to deploy the defenseman, how active he has. He may want to stretch it out a bit just because Ekblad is obviously a very mobile defenseman that moves the puck, and so is Gus Forsling. He may want to keep them apart and, spread that out a little bit on the defensive pairings. And Brandon Montour, to his credit, he's a very responsible guy with the puck. He got the power play 2-time last year. So that's a good question. If I had to guess, I would think Brandon Montour gets the first look on that top pairing. But again, Paul Maurice could want to put his foot on the gas and put Ekblad and Forsling together. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Tell them about Chirping the Cats podcast, sir. When's it next? And, of course, your work at WPLG.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just put out the new podcast with Paul Maurice, with Bill Zito and Matthew Tkachuk Presser. So that's kind of riding out right now. The next one, right now, I'm kind of taking it by ear as the off season's going by. So I couldn't honestly tell you when the next one's going to be.
You had your move, you greedy bastard. Okay, you had your superstar already.
You're the one that wanted the move, not me. I'm reporting the move. You're the one that wanted the move, so don't call me greedy.
Damn right, I want, and I'm spoiled, and I got what I wanted. Damn right. But what I'm saying is, you got your big news, so now you're going to have to cruise around a little bit. Now is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
But that's what's fun.
Superstar is going to land on your lap now, so you can write and talk about it. Okay, Mr. Dwork.
Now it's kind of everybody's finishing up their vacations. This weekend, a lot of guys came back in town for Aaron Ekblad's wedding. But, I mean, everybody's just kind of doing their thing in the offseason. And that's, I've learned, I've only been doing the day-to-day beat for a few years, but I've learned when you get downtime, you lean into it because it doesn't come very often. So I've learned to kind of lean into the offseason and take my chill time where I can, sleep in where I can, because once the season gets going again, it is a grind. And as you know, I have other responsibilities for my job as well. So not complaining at all. I love what I do, but I've learned to appreciate the downtime and take advantage when it comes about.
Amen. Follow him on Twitter at David Dwork and subscribe to the podcast, Chirping the Cats podcast. David, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week. Have a great weekend.
You got it, brother. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir. That is the lockdown segment. And if you are locked out of your house, locked out of your car, you call A. Lenny Locksmith. All right, go to alennylocksmith.com. The Twitter, follow them there on Twitter at A. Lenny Locksmith. And they are 24 hours a day. They also program your car keys too. So if you're panicking, A. Lenny Locksmith will save you. That's the lockdown segment.
This has been the Florida Panthers Lockdown segment, brought to you by A. Lenny Locksmith Services. Count on them 24 hours a day. Call 855-869-5625 or go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
All right. George, you that you're a piece of work, bro. Big O is funny how you tell Mickey to spend into the luxury tax, but when someone recommends something for your show, you quickly ask for the money. Is it easy to spend someone else's money? I don't have the money. Mickey does. That's common sense, George. Am I a billionaire? If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be asking for anything. But I'm just saying, if you want this, you want that, you can chime in. You can do it yourself. You can help us out. That's what it's all about. I think there's a huge difference between my bank account and Mickey Harrison's. I'm not sure if you understand the difference there, George, when I can tell a billionaire, hey, man, spend some more money. Come on, you got plenty of cash. Me, you tell me to spend money. I don't have plenty of cash. So I think there's a major difference there. You may not pick up on it, but still don't like the idea of not getting a pick for Hubie and a pick for Uyghur. Still hate the idea of giving up a first rounder to the Flames. Rosendo, dude, you have to understand. You're getting a superstar in return. You're getting the best player out of the bunch. And Calgary really only got the one player in the first round pick. There's no guarantee they got Uyghur and Hubie. They're renting them for 1 year. And Calgary's not a place that people stay. That's why we were having some fun with it. Like, is Hubie going to really stay there? So really you traded away a superstar to rent a guy, an all-star for 1 year in Hubie. And if you can't keep Hubie and Uyghur, then you only keep the one player and the first rounder. That's not enough for a superstar. That's why it was a tough situation for Calgary. They didn't have a lot of places to trade him. He didn't want to be there. So now you got to move him, and you can't ask for what you would really like to get in return. So you're getting a 30-year-old star that you may not sign to. What are you going to sign him to, an 8-year contract? You have to look at it in both ways, Rosendo. You're only looking at it from this way, and you're not looking at the sacrifice and the chances and the risks that Calgary took, because there's no guarantee they're keeping those two players because they've only got 1 year left on their deals. And that's why Florida traded them, because they were going to lose Uyghur next year for nothing. They didn't have the money to sign Uyghur, and they were going to sign Hubie. So Uyghur was going to be gone next year. So you were only going to keep Uyghur for 1 more year. Now you got yourself a superstar that you needed in that locker room and on the ice. I completely disagree with you, Rosendo. I don't think you're looking at the trade on both sides of it. You out there Saturday camp? Yes, I am. Good morning from Phoenix, Arizona, all the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA. Big O, just tuning in. Any truth to a rumor I saw on Twitter? Probably not. Yesterday that McDaniel is making a push to make the throwback unis permanent. No, there's no truth to it, because McDaniel is not wasting his time. Think about that stupidity. The coach is trying to prepare his team, and he's worried about what logo he has on. Really? No. If anybody's doing it, it'll be Tom Garfinkel, and he'll do it eventually. He'll get it done. Don't worry about it. It's a subject every year. They know. They know they screwed up with that logo. Tom Garfinkel will fix it. It's not his screw up anyways. It came before him. They'll fix it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay? Don't worry. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Let's take a quick break for hour number 3 here of the program. Jordan Schultz should be joining us here on the other side when we come back on the show right here at the Big O Radio Show live from Hialeah Park.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions, from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends.
Red Recover now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Give your dog the same therapy that many veterinarians use today, but at a fraction of the cost. Pads are available in 3 sizes and come with attachment straps, clips, and an easy-to-use manual. Red Recover can help your dog with arthritic conditions, muscle soreness, intervertebral disc disease, ACL rehabilitation, performance, aging, and general health and happiness. You simply place the pad over the desired area and allow our proprietary Tri-Light therapeutic wrap to penetrate deep into the tissue, where a number of healing parameters will be stimulated. When starting treatment, apply for 10 to 15 minutes daily and lessen the application time as needed for best results. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Ready, baby. It's hour number 3. We are waiting Jordan Schultz. Hopefully we will get Pupar and Marcel at the bottom of the hour, and we'll have some fun with them. Tkachuk is a physical player, something the Panthers were lacking in the playoffs. Hubie's not that guy. Yeah, Hubie's too nice. And so is Barkov. Barkov needed a guy next to him that has an edge. And this is good for him. This is really good. Max Meyer undergoing Tommy John. Really? Is that the report? Wow, poor kid. He did have some elbow stuff when he came off, man. Wow. It's almost like it's in baseball nowadays. I think you almost plan for losing a pitcher for a year. You know, when you're going to commit to a pitcher, a big time pitcher, you're also counting in a year that he's going to be out for Tommy John. It's gotten to that point. It's like half the pitchers end up going through that stuff. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it just seems like so many end up suffering that. And it's not like it's career threatening. They come back just as good or maybe even stronger sometimes, because they've done so well now with the Tommy John surgery. But it is so common for pitchers to undergo Tommy John surgery. It is very common. You'll watch a pitcher and then you might read in his history and you won't realize that he had Tommy John surgery earlier in his career. Is it true about Max Meyer? Yeah? Damn, dude. Mish reported it? Damn. Okay. Jordan reported and okay. Wow. Sucks. Damn. Poor guy, man. Poor guy. Oh, well. Hopefully he comes back stronger down the line. As assurances, no guarantee that Hubes and Weegs would re-sign with Calgary, so Calgary likely would take the deal unless the Panthers threw in the first round in Schwint. Right, no, I know that. Indeed, you and me are right on target. I don't think Rosendo doesn't take part. He doesn't understand the other side of it. He's just looking at it through Panther glasses, and it's just not fair because you're giving up 2 players that have 1-year deals. And unless you're doing what the Panthers did, that they traded for the kid and they signed him to an 8-year contract, which I know he wanted a new contract and all that, but after watching what's going on in Kansas City and what Tunsil did to Houston, you can't make these kind of trades without agreeing to a deal right away. Unless there's some kind of wink-wink deal that, like a Pat Riley type move that you can make that wink-wink deal and you give it to him later. So we'll see. We shall see. While we await Jordan Schultz, Canes. I read in Barry Jackson's article yesterday, and this was one of those things that's kind of disturbing, yet also refreshing. And he talked about how under Manny Diaz, Manny would let things slide with players. Tardiness, little knick-knack injury, just a bump or a bruise, and they would miss practice or something like that. And players felt like they had a stranglehold on their position, so they weren't worried about it. And then the other thing is that Manny was more worried about being friends with the players and them liking him than him being a head coach. And the difference, and Barry was pointing out, which it's one of those things that you would think it would be normal, but it's a story that needs to be written by Barry and needs to be explained and exposed, because you see the reasons why Miami has players on the sidelines laughing and dancing while they're losing. Right? It's the reason why you have the stupid ass turnover chain, and you actually allow the turnover chain to happen when you're losing. Because that probably would have been the best thing that you would have done with the turnover chain, right? Now, hey, guys, the turnover chain only matters when we're winning. If we're losing, you're only doing your job. You got to score, and you guys got to take the ball away. That's what you got to do. But when we're losing, we don't celebrate anything. There's nothing to celebrate. Not a touchdown, not an interception, not a sack. Get back to the sidelines, get back to the huddle, do your job. When we're winning, we can celebrate. That's probably should have been the stipulation. But since it isn't, and it's a stupid ass thing to do now, because it's the most embarrassing thing in the world to have that turnover chain when you're losing. Okay, I don't mind having some fun, no problem. But when you're losing, no, there's no me moment when you're losing. And now with Mario, well, Mario's a much better recruiter than Diaz. So if you want to miss practice because of an injury or because it's a small little bruise or whatever, well, guess what? Somebody's ready to take your job. Players now will not be missing practices anymore, will not be making excuses anymore. And the coach is not there to be your friend. The coach is there to coach you up. And that's going to be the difference between Mario and what you saw from Manny Diaz. And I thought it was a really good article on Barry's part, because I think it's something that needs to be mentioned and talked about, because that's going to be why this team is going to be so good down the line. And that's why the Canes were always good in the past, because the guy that was second and in third string was pretty much as good as the guy that was starting. And the guy that was starting knew that the guy behind him was breathing down his neck, and he had to maintain his edge. Because that's the only way. And that's what Mario's going to bring back, an edge. He's going to bring back an edge to this team. He's going to bring back an edge to the players, that they're going to live on that edge going, yeah, I got to stay sharp, or that guy's going to take my job. Good article by Barry Jackson, and something that had to be talked about. And there's no doubt in my mind that Mario Cristobal is going to make a monster difference in the attitude of these players, in the effort of these players, in the professionalism of these players, because that was one thing. Look, man, Michael Irvin can clown around and goof off and all that, but he beat your ass on the field. And Randall Hill might be doing the 6-shooter and all that, but he's beating your ass on the field. So we had plenty of players with bravado, but they took care of business. Remember what we talked about with McDaniel? That allowing them to be themselves so they can then be themselves also on the field? Mario's going to do that. Yeah, he's going to allow you to be yourself, but you're also going to do it in a disciplined fashion. All right? You're going to be professional, you're going to be dedicated, and you're not going to be dancing on the sidelines when we're losing. And this is not about you, it's about we. And that's what's going to change. Good stuff by Mario. And speaking of getting the edge, because, of course, with myedgeenergydrink.com, myedgedrink.com is the website. Edge Energy Drink is the drink. myedgedrink.com. You want 10% off anywhere in the country. You can't find it in stores. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to Walgreens. Don't go to Rite Aid. Don't go to CVS. No. You got to order it online. Go to myedgedrink.com. The best energy drink on the planet. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Only 78 calories. You're going to love me. And it's a great elixir. You're going to really love me after that. When you mix it up with some vodka or some rum, it's going to blow you away. You're going to go, wow, this is awesome. Nice job by you. So check it out. Go to myedgedrink.com and check out the energy drink that Sean and I have been drinking for a while now and telling you. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. Only 78 calories. myedgedrink.com. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? What happened now? What happened now at some camp?
No, it's actually Dolphins camp.
Oh, what do we got?
They have ended just recently.
Any news?
Tehran didn't dress. Raheem didn't practice.
Oh, okay.
You know,
second day.
Second day. They weren't going to be out there.
Right.
And then, to me, it's funny because I follow most of the Dolphin reporters and everybody. You can just see the Tua, maybe the reporters that might believe in Tua, and the ones that don't.
Right. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know.
Beasley doesn't. Poupart doesn't.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
So, for instance, here, Marcel Louis-Jacques says out, he goes, Tua was sharp today. Didn't see him miss a pass till late in practice. Holland did earn a pass breakup. Tua delivered an accurate jump ball to Ezekuma.
Who I like
adjusted
that.
beautifully to high point it, but Holland did knock it away as it was coming down. So Holland's
so far that's half read right? Didn't I say that he's going to be part of the running game that Debo did? That they'll use him in the running, and they'll use the alley-oop type passes to Parker. The what's it called? Fade. The fade patterns, and there we go. Fade pattern already started.
Yep. And then let's see. Safi Dean says Jalen Waddle got that dog in him. 7 catches, no drops.
He's a Tua guy.
Yep. Tyreek Hill had 1 drop, but still a solid day. Tua had solid despite 2 passes thrown into the wind. Hill came back for 1, second was dropped.
Okay.
Now I need to get Beasley because that is the one that I was.
Oh yeah, Bees. Yeah, Bees is
he was the one that.
Yeah, no, Bees, Poupart, Shad.
Anything from Poupart yet? He's probably writing his article before he comes on.
Shad is another one, and then Omar. Because Omar will, he plays both sides.
Let me get Beasley here because he is the one, and I just wanted to show. And I apologize because I thought this would come up quicker, but apparently I don't have Beasley programmed in like I had him before. Let's see. Dolphins practice over, clocked in at 100 minutes, not participating day. Armstead, Mostert. Rough second half of practice for Tua. Practice report to come. And then where is the other one? Somebody basically, they didn't say anything about the win. They just said Tua threw a pass, 45 yards, wobbly, and Hill had to come back for it. Those were paraphrasing it, making it again the arm strength of Tua. And you know what I think it was? I think it was Sufi actually.
Oh, okay. I don't know where he stands. I've read it. I read his stuff, but I don't know if I can't tell when. Hey, send Schultz a link.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
I thought I sent it to him. Okay. All right. What else do we have here? All right. All right, we'll get Jordan Schultz on in just a second. Big O, only a couple weeks left of football. Is it just me or July flew by? Wow. Yeah, July did fly by. By the way, before we get to Jordan, I just want to say the market is, so I'm going to need like the entire month of August to believe that this pump is for real. But Bitcoin is already over 24,000 now. It just went over 24,000, and Ethereum is up to 1750 already at this point. It is skying. It's skying and flying. Polygon up 14%, Polkadot up 15.5%, ApeCoin up 16.6%, Kusama up 14.7%. Immutable X up 17.7, Cody up 11, Decentraland up 11, Ethereum is up 16.3%. And this is just sick. Cardano's up 9%, Cadena up 9%, Algorand up 9%. I mean, it's crazy. This is crazy. I mean, this is a ride, baby. Ride. Those of us that have been patiently waiting and DCAing on our way down, now on the way up, boy, you are going to love this. You're going to love watching your portfolio light up like a Christmas tree. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. Brooklyn Rob says, crypto, bro. Love it. I bought the dips. Yeah, damn right. Damn straight. And I know you got into some Polygon too, Brooklyn Rob. So I know you're loving this. And Polygon's just going to explode. It is just a monster. And they have the EPPI 1551, which burns Polygon, which, of course, as you burn, there's less available, which then increases the value of it. And they've already burned a couple of billion over there too. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty amazing. We're awaiting Jordan Schultz here on the program. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, it's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. And remember, if your business wants to be a part of our platform and you want to display your business out there, you want to market your business, please reach out to our business line at 786-754-4664. Would love to meet with you and join our family, man. Would be absolutely awesome. Hey, Big O, appreciate you and Sean going to training camp for the first day. Do you plan on going back to training camp when there's full pads next week, G, in Pennsylvania? Yes, we will be back. And on those days, the show will be adjusted and we'll do an afternoon show, kind of like we did yesterday. I live across from FTX without a big move. Should I buy Heat season tickets? Well, they really won't go up in value like Crypto May, but sure, dude. Why not? If you're a Heat fan and you love basketball, why wouldn't you want to go to the Heat games? They're going to be fantastic this season. Somebody says congressional under oath testifying today via Zoom for Snyder. Okay. That guy's such a scumbag, he would lie under oath. Right? Don't you feel like that? Right? Doesn't Dan Snyder look like the weasel that would also lie under oath? Like, I couldn't believe him at all. I'm going to use a Mad Dog line. I couldn't believe Dan Snyder if his tongue was notarized. Jordan was smoking a lot of cigars too. He went to work every day. Yep, exactly. Yeah, there's no excuses. Big O was just checking. Don't we have 2 number 1s and 2 number 3s next year, and we don't get a 3 for Parker? Just a question. I don't think we get a 3 for Parker. I forgot I don't know what we're gonna end up getting for Parker because I don't think he signed a big enough deal. I don't know how the whole thing works out. The whole by the way, it's also what we did too. That takes away from it. So no, we're not going to get anything. No. By signing Armstead and Connor Williams, and Cedric Wilson, I don't think we're going to get any kind of compensation next year. That it's a really convoluted thing. It depends on what kind of when you lose the player, it's not just where he got drafted, but also what contract he signs. Because if you drafted him in the second round, but he was a mediocre player and he signed a 1-year deal, you're not getting the second rounder. You'd be lucky if you get a 7th rounder or a 6th. See what I'm saying? So it just doesn't go like that. It all there's a lot of things. And then if you sign a lot of free agents, then you're not entitled to the compensatory picks the same way either. Oh, he was traded? Oh, so then they got compensation for him. I forgot about that. So Parker was traded. I forgot even. Look at that. I even forgot that he was traded. So they got compensation already. They must have gotten at least a 5th to 7th round pick for him. A 3rd? Did they get they must have given something back, right? I even forgot about this trade already. What the hell was the Parker trade? See, look at that. I even forgot it was a trade. What do you got?
It was a 2022 5th round pick.
Okay.
For wait a minute. Okay, the Dolphins traded Devontae Parker and a 2022 fifth-round pick to the Patriots for a 2023 third-round pick.
Oh, wow. That's a great move.
And that's per Ian Rappaport.
God, I love Chris Greer. He is good. Yeah, that's great compensation. Yeah. But I don't know. Did we lose anybody straight out of free agency? I don't know if we did. Maybe we got a chance with somebody else, but I doubt it. Because of all the free agents Miami signed, I don't think they would get any compensatory picks back. I don't even know if they lost anybody to get compensatory picks. I'm thinking about it. I don't think so. They brought everybody back on defense. On offense, my Lord, they didn't have many people to lose that would be worth anything. No, I don't think they lost anybody. Yeah, no. That's nothing. That's nothing. They didn't lose anything. They have no shot. They don't need compensatory. That's nothing. Yeah, Greer did fleece the Pats. You are correct, Eric. Yeah. Wow, the 2023 draft is starting to look a lot like Christmas. Of course it is. You got Chris Greer here. He continues to do this shit. He gets the Tunsil trade and has made it into so many picks. It's just absolutely awesome what he's been able to do with the Tunsil trade. Oh, man. Tell you, bro. All right. What else do we have going on here in the world of deportes? By the way, redrecover.com. I tell you about Red Recover all the time here on the program. 15 minutes a day. If you're having chronic pains with knees, ankles, my man Sean has chronic knee issues, bone on bone. My wife, she doesn't have those kind of pains, but she has chronic knee issues. When it rains or it's cold, she gets knee issues when she exercises and walks. So she's now wearing the Red Recover wraps, and they make her knees feel so much better. It alleviates the discomfort for Sean. It gets the blood flow going. And whether it's ankles, shoulders, elbows, back, neck, we've got the wraps for you folks. All you got to do is go to redrecover.com. Listen, we had the doc on last week explaining it, and he's going to join us once a month. Hayden Hurst, first-round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, a tight end. Well, he's a first-round pick of another team, but he's with the Cincinnati Bengals now, and he uses Red Recover to optimize his performance every single day. You can do the same thing. It's great for the kids because there's no side effects. It's all natural. There's no medication, nothing. So this is great for kids or adults, and we got the kids running around all over the place in the summertime. They're picking up sprains and strains. Your dogs, we worry. I've got 5 dogs, and we worry about them, healing and aging properly. And some of our dogs pick up hip issues. These wraps will help and assist in those issues and alleviate the pain and make them feel a lot better and live a much more comfortable life. And we all love our dogs, right? And we want them to live a comfortable life. I know my 5 dogs live a comfortable life, and if they need Red Recover wraps, I'm going to definitely give it to them. So go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O, you will get 10% off. So alleviate those chronic pains, strains, and maybe old injuries or operations with redrecover.com. I also use it for growing hair. So if you're recently losing your hair, okay, if you've lost your hair for a long time already, it may not work probably, okay? There's a good chance it won't work. It's not 100%, but it is helping me grow my hair back here in the middle where I'm getting all the baby hairs now growing out and stuff, which is really, really cool and filling out. So it might happen for you. So if you're starting to lose your hair and you want to save it, Red Recover's got a great hat for you also. Go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O, and get 10% off at redrecover.com. Speaking of Red Recover, did you see the story with Mike Trout, dude? Wow. That sucks. And this is the part that bothered me out of all of this for the poor man. He has given his career to that team. And that team doesn't deserve Ohtani or Trout. They don't do enough to try to win. They suck. They're a bad team. They're a bad franchise. And now this man has to deal with a T5 vertebrae issue. And let me read it for you. 3-time MVP Mike Trout has been diagnosed with a rare back condition that will likely affect the rest of his playing career. Trainer Mike Frostad for the Angels said Wednesday that the 10-time All-Star has been diagnosed with a costovertebral dysfunction at his T5 vertebrae. This is pretty a rare condition that he has right now in his back, Frostad said, adding that Trout's doctors, world-renowned Robert Watkins, has seen a lot of cases. There's so many things that can aggravate it, but this doctor hasn't seen a lot of it. The club placed Trout on the injured list on July 18th with what they thought was rib cage inflammation. Trout pulled out of the All-Star game and had a cortisone shot last week. Though Trout is feeling some relief from the shot, it'll be another week before he resumes baseball activities. The team, however, has not broached the subject of shutting down Trout for the rest of the season. Long-term, we do have to take a look at this as something that he has to manage it. Not just through the rest of the season, but also through the rest of his career. He's batting .270 this year with 24 homers and 51 RBIs. 12-year veteran, 10-time All-Star, 3-time MVP. This guy's a sick talent. I mean, what? Just an absolute, wow, freakish talent. A generational player. And he's been wasted on that team his whole career. You know, as much as we complain about the Dodgers and the Yankees and all that, this is what you want. You want them at least. You want a guy like that to be able to play, you know, with the Chistros or the Mets or somebody that spends money. Poor guy, man. Poor guy. All right. Speaking of Red Recover, yes, sir. Jordan Schultz is ready to go. Let's do it with Jordan Schultz. The Schultz Report brought to you by redrecover.com.
RedRecover.com presents the Schultz Report with NFL and NBA insider Jordan Schultz. RedRecover.com helps pros and everyday warriors like yourself assist your body's own healing and recovery with red light therapy. Go to redrecover.com to learn more about red light with videos, blog posts, and over 40 years of medical research to treat pain, inflammation, and overall well-being. Here's insider Jordan Schultz.
Is Jordan Schultz ready to go? And follow him on Twitter at Schultz Report. There it is, Schultz_report. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good? What is it?
What's up, bro?
Going on?
Great to be back, man. Camps are open. It's a glorious time.
It is. It is. Are you working out or something? Is that what we got you after a workout or something?
No. We're at the farm. Getting ready for preseason camps. Everything. I got a Seahawks shirt on right now, actually.
Okay. All right. So, question for you. What the hell is going on with the Kevin Durant thing? Because that has put a complete stalemate on the entire league. And ever since that Celtic report that came out of that offer, which I understand that the offer was made during Summer League and all that stuff, but still that, the Celtics are a player in this one if they're going to be interested here.
Comes down to whether or not Brooklyn feels that Jaylen Brown is enough. And when I look at it, I think I'd rather have Kevin Durant for 3 years than Jaylen Brown for 8. I think if you're the Celtics and you get KD for the next 3 years, he's got 3 more years left on his deal till he's 36. And you pair him with Tatum and you can keep Robert Williams. To me, you are the odds-on prohibitive favorite. It's for sure. So, Jaylen Brown is a really good player. And I think if Brooklyn feels as if this is not salvageable, that's a great consolation prize. But I'm still of the belief that the best situation for Kevin might be in Brooklyn at least might be, but very well is probably the best situation for him.
Well, it's not so much the best situation. It's who's competing with them with the package. That's the thing. I mean, as much as I'm a Miami fan, if you don't want to include Bam, there's no way you're competing with the Boston.
There's no conversation.
Nothing.
No conversation. So.
In fact, I've gone to the extreme. I've said that Miami is at such a disadvantage that unless they're willing to take Ben Simmons, that's the only way they differ themselves from everybody else. Not only would they have to trade Bam, they're going to have to take in Ben Simmons, too, at the same time. Whereas Phoenix won't do that. Boston won't do that. Toronto won't do that. They don't have to do that. Miami, in order to make this happen, I think not only would they have to give up Bam, they're going to have to take Ben Simmons. That's
Miami's not.
They don't have the ammo.
No, this is not going to happen. It's the Celtics are so interesting because very seldom, if ever, do you see a team that goes to the NBA Finals and then blows it up. And if you trade Jaylen Brown, you're trading your second best player for one of the 10 greatest players of all time. Right. But you're still a much different team. Now, Boston has to make the decision, and this is Brad Stevens now, who's running the show. He has to make the decision. Like I just said, is if you feel as if, how do I say this? You feel as if it's worth it or it's dramatically different when you're getting Kevin. Because if you feel like you're only getting marginally better and that it's not going to give you the contending window or whatever, then it's not worth it. But if you feel as if Kevin is still one of the best 5 players in the league, then it's worth it because Jaylen Brown is 8 years younger and he gives you a dimension of, contending or helping you contend for a long time. So it's a really tough decision for both teams. But ultimately, I guess Brooklyn, Sean Marks, the GM, you have to also wonder if there has been conversations, and I don't know this, but I'm just asking, conversations that Kevin has had internally that basically say, look, I've seen what Ben Simmons is. I looked under the hood. He's not for me. That's another part of this too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And so if you're Miami, and look, I understand you're standing pat, pun intended, because you're waiting to the last moment that you have no shot at this Durant move before you move on. And right now it doesn't look like anybody's moving on to Donovan Mitchell, and the
whole league is waiting for Kevin. That's
right. Miles Turner. I don't know, dude. Is John Collins on the block or not? Because I have heard nothing. Like people talk about John Collins, but I haven't heard anything from the Atlanta area that says they want to trade John Collins. Because really, if you want to make a run after making the trade with San Antonio, I would think you want to keep everybody and make a go of it because that's a pretty damn good little team there that they have in Atlanta. So what's the deal with John Collins?
Well, there's 2 types of conversations that happen in the NBA and in the NFL as well, but more so in the NBA. You are actively shopping a guy and you're listening, which means you're taking calls. There are incessant number of calls that happen that don't even get reported. What do you think about this guy? In terms of Collins, it's been that for the last 2 years.
Okay.
It's like he's available. He's not really, but maybe. Could he be? It's like a very strange. So for a guy that's
available, depending on what you're offering me, is what you're saying.
And I think it's somewhat similar with Miles Turner in Indiana. I mean, these are 2 really good young forwards who still have their best basketball ahead of them, and in Miles's case, one of the best defenders in the league. So,
and I would say this: the difference between those 2 situations. I think John Collins would be happy staying in Atlanta. I'm not sure Miles Turner's, and I think Indiana knows he's not really there for the long term. He probably wants to move on after.
Oh, I think if I'm going to rate those 2 situations in terms of player happiness, I think there's no doubt that Miles, would be best served on another team where he's more valued. I've always felt like Indiana looked at him as a second-class player behind Sabonis, the way they've made their moves. I thought the Halliburton trade would have been great for them, and they just haven't invested in Miles the way that I think they should have. I think he's a really good player. And John's case, they also have ancillary pieces, specifically with DeAndre Hunter, who they love, and is similar to Collins, and also hasn't gotten paid yet. So I think both those guys are ultimately going to get moved, but I think Turner probably first.
I think Turner becomes a hell of a player in Miami.
Well, he could play next to Bam. He could play
because he's a 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, he does a lot of.
Oh my God,
he's a really good player. He's also a really good dude. I've gotten to know him really well over the last couple of years. He'd be a perfect fit for Miami. He's really changed his body, his approach. He's kind of already got that mentality of I'm going to be in great shape. Right. I think he'd be a great fit for you. Mm-hmm. Heat fans would love him.
Yeah, I think, and it's exactly what they need, because in order to keep Bam on the court with another big man, it has to be a big man that can shoot. That's the problem. You have Dedmon. You can't put both guys out there.
Dedmon's really good, but he's a really terrific player. But you get in these series just like Gobert on a higher level, but similar. You can't play these 7-footers who can't stretch the floor.
If we were in the 90s, then okay, we can play them both. We're good.
We're in the 90s.
Yeah,
but think about Alonzo Mourning in today's game, though. It would be the same type of deal.
Yeah.
Really good player who is limited at the end of games.
Right, exactly. Yeah, although Zoe developed a decent 15.
A little bit.
Yeah, a decent. Yeah, he wasn't great, but he was decent at that. But he was a monster in the paint, and that's the difference.
That's true.
Bam doesn't even have a post game, actually. So
Bam is your classic mid-post, face-up. I can facilitate. I can do all these different things. But am I really the number 2 on a championship team?
No.
The answer is no. Not yet, at least.
No, he's not. He's not, because offensively.
But he's being paid like he is.
Right, and that's that. I call him a super role player. I don't call him a superstar. Or
I call him a star. I think he's a star player.
He could be an all-star. Yeah, I could go with all-star. I can go all-star.
Top 30 player in the NBA right now. If top 25, maybe. But that's a star. That's not a 1. And maybe he's not a 2
Not
yet.
a 2 either. He's not a 2 either. He's not. You got to score, bro. You got to score in this league. You got to be able. You got to have something that makes you an offensive force in order for you to be a 1 or a 2 in this.
Well, look at Jaylen Brown, though. That's a legit number 2 guy on a championship caliber team. I mean, that's what he was.
Although I got to tell you, when I look at Jaylen Brown, I feel like he reluctantly plays that number 2 role.
He wants to be the 1.
Yeah, dude, I feel like when I see him, I see him with an attitude like I get that, but I see him with an attitude like he wants to be
He's a killer.
1.
Yeah, Jaylen's a killer. I'll tell you. I'll take you back to a story that was told to me about him, and forgive me for dovetailing here, but it is relevant in the sense of if you're an NBA fan. A really close friend of mine was one of the main reasons why Jaylen Brown went to Cal. He was the lead recruiter, and he recruited Jaylen Brown basically throughout his entire high school career. He was 14, 15. And he told me that this is when he was drafted. So this is before he was a star. He said Jaylen Brown has the type of mentality and killer mindset that's going to make him a star in the NBA. Is he a top 10, top 20 guy? I don't know, but he will be a star, not just because of his talent, but because of his mentality. And I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah. No, when I see it, and I think at times he wants to take over games and all that. I just, when I watch it, it just seems to me like a dude that really has an edge, that wants to be a number 1. Whether he can or not, I don't know. But sometimes, man, when he gets mad, like, you watch him play.
Well, then he gets a little out of character, and that's when you see those turnovers. And you want that, but there's got to be a balance. And I don't know if he's quite there yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is absolutely fair. Okay, so then I get it. We talked with Anthony Chiang, who's on the Heat beat and one of our insiders here, and he thinks the Heat are continuing to hold out. They don't want to make a Miles Turner move or a Harrison Barnes move or a John Collins move, because then it takes them completely out of the whole Durant thing. And I totally understand that. That makes sense. But what doesn't make sense to me is I still don't think you're going to get Durant anyway. And unless my crazy idea comes through that maybe they've already talked about, hey, we'll take Ben Simmons too, and we'll give you Bam. But the reports are they're not willing to part with Bam. Okay.
Ben Simmons is the antithesis of a Miami Heat player.
I know.
It's never going to happen. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But because everybody else has better deals than you, that's the only way I think you can entice them, where they say, God, we got
the same package. we've heard about this Robinson Hero.
Right.
It's the same package.
Right.
You know, and at some point, I think Miami Heat fans just have to be realistic that and the Heat that they're not going to get Kevin. But hey, if you can get Miles Turner or Donovan Mitchell or John Collins, those are really, really good young players who are all in their mid-20s.
So that's my question. When does the sands of the hourglass run out? And when are we going to hear from Kevin Durant? Because the guy that we hear from all his burner accounts, we all hear from him all the time. He has been incredibly quiet on all of this. So at what point does the league say we've got to move on? What time, when does the Heat, Phoenix, Toronto, whoever else wants to make a move say we've got to move on? Atlanta say we've got to move on. When does this happen?
I mean, that is the billion-dollar question.
Right.
I think, I talked to Rich Kleiman, who I've known a long time, is a very good friend, and he's Kevin's manager, agent, whatever, about 3 weeks ago, and there's no rush. There's no rush now, and there wasn't then. So if you had to if you said there's a timeline, what is it? I think it could be in the next 2 weeks, and I think it could be in the next 2 months. There's no rush for them. And because he's Kevin Durant, you're one of the very few players who has that much power, and that many teams will hold out with the hope of getting you. So in Boston, making this reported offer, for Brooklyn to make the decision and pull the trigger, I still don't think it's enough to the Jaylen Brown package.
Follow him on Twitter at Schultz_report. Catch him here, of course, with our redrecover.com Schultz report. Jordan, as always, my brother, thank you for taking some time.
I thought we were going to do a little football. You've got to promise me we're talking football next week.
Yeah, they just started.
I know, but you see Tua making those throws. Oh, Tua, you look pretty good. So
he did. He did. I was there yesterday. Well,
yeah, you look good. I mean, listen, who knows? But you look good.
Yeah, he
all
looked
right, brother.
Good.
Thank you.
Early, I'm a Tua guy, so I believe in the kid. I'm good with him. So it's all good. Thanks. You, Jordan. Appreciate you. You got it. That is your Schultz report, brought to you by redrecover.com.
This has been the Schultz Report with insider Jordan Schultz. RedRecover.com helps pros and everyday warriors heal on the go with their medical-grade, highly specialized devices designed for each area of the body. Go to RedRecover.com to learn more about red light. With videos, blog posts, and over 40 years of medical research to treat pain, inflammation, and overall well-being.
All right, we are back. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little football now. Alan Poupar is ready to go with our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupard. With locations throughout South Florida, Sports Grill is the home of the special grilled wings. Check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupard.
Camp, was it hotter today than yesterday?
A little bit, not by much, but a little bit. It's so humid. And practice itself is tolerable. It's when we have to do the player interviews out in that beating sun. That's rough.
So let me ask Sean, because Sean grabbed the mic there. So yesterday you were at camp. You did your share sweating.
A lot.
Okay, so you were with me also in Vegas, where it was 107, 109, 113, and it was dry heat.
Yes.
And you remember that hallway in between the two arenas, how it became an oven.
Yes.
Okay, so now what kind of heat would you rather deal with? Our humidified, sweaty heat, or that dry ass, you can barely breathe heat?
The dry ass heat.
Right?
I literally...
Alan
pulled up the same time as me. As I got out of the car, before I made it to the cart that was taking us, I was already sweating.
Right.
I was already sweating by that point.
Because that heat out west, it's bad, but it's the humidity factor here is what just God
Yep.
bless. Dude.
And I'll add, because I've been into Vegas also, and I'll add to that. When I went to Mexico a few weeks ago, it was very humid too. It was brutal. Went to OTAs in New Orleans once upon a time. It was horrible. And then this also the same thing. This humidity that kills you.
Yeah. And the frustration, you just showered.
Yeah.
So you're like, damn, man, I just showered, bro. Come on.
Yep.
Do I have to get swamp ass within the first 5 minutes of me walking out of the house? Damn, bro. All right. So today, who was limited or out?
4 guys we did not see out there were Teron Armstead, Raheem Mostert, Michael Dieter, and for a second consecutive day, Adam Butler.
What's the Butler deal? Because he's been absent. The other ones I don't really worry about because, except for Dieter, I don't know what they're managing there. The other guys are a little older, so you want to manage those guys. And, they practiced limited yesterday, so I know what you're doing. You're wanting to wait to see how their bodies react, and then you start slowly but surely picking it up. I know what they're doing with those guys. I'm not correct. But Butler, who, by the way, he got better as the year went on last year because I wasn't very impressed with him early on, and then towards the end of the season, he was making plays. He was helping out. So what's the deal with him?
Don't know. We forgot to ask Mike McDaniel before practice Thursday. He's not scheduled to speak before practice tomorrow, so we'll have to wait until Saturday. And who knows, by then he may be back at practice tomorrow. So we'll find out. So I don't want to speculate. I don't know what's going on. But as far as Mostert and Armstead, your suggestion that it could be load management makes a whole lot of sense. That would be my guess also.
I mean, dude, Armstead looked good yesterday. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Most looked good yesterday. But I get what they're doing because you've been around it and so have I. The smart teams kind of ease you back. They don't give you heavy loads right away. And especially a guy like Armstead does not need a heavy load. And a guy like Mostert actually knows your system too on top of all of that. Not only does you got to pace him because he's coming back from an injury, but he knows your system anyway. So you don't have to worry about that.
There'll come a time when it's time to ramp it up.
Right.
July 28th isn't that time. So it makes
all right, I'm not going to ask you about lines. I'm not going to ask you about running games because there's no pads going on. But what did you see in the passing game from quarterbacks, the receivers and cornerbacks and tight ends that you did like?
I will tell you one thing. I'm as soon as I'm done with you, I'm going to write up like practice observations, and I don't want to give away too much of what I'm writing, but I will tell you one thing that's jumped out at me in the first 2 days. I've seen 2 instances where the 4th round pick, Eric Ezukanma, has shown great body control where he's twisting his body in the air to make the catch. Now, the one today, he was about to make an incredible catch until Javon Holland came over from his safety spot and knocked the ball out of his hands. But still, the effort and just the fact that he got as close to making the catch as he did was really impressive.
And I felt that they're going to use him on the fade and they're going to use him on those on those end arounds and stuff like that Debo would do. I think that's why he's here because you're not going to put Parker to do that, but he can do some of the things Parker can do. And he's going to do some of the things you can't get Parker to do with that big body. And I think that's what Ezukanma, like I've told everybody, when we had these Dolphin fans are, go get Debo. No, dude, they already have Debo. It's just 7 dudes that are going to play Debo is what I keep telling everybody. Everyone will play the Debo role. The Debo Samuel role will be in this offense. It just won't be by one dude. That's all.
Well, Debo doesn't want to be Debo anymore. Anyway, so there's that. So, no, but you mentioned Parker, and then, I would call Ezukanma's ability to adjust his body in the air very Parker-like. And speaking of whom, I don't know if you're seeing the reports out of New England. Apparently, he's killing it over there. So
Yeah, but apparently their DBs are wearing mitts. So it's also a cooking class and practice. So, it's just they go to the sidelines, they go to their Betty Crocker cooker, and they turn over stuff, and then they go back out. So, the DBs are wearing mitts. I don't know.
You're a DVP hater.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Wearing mitts. All right, so outside of Ezukanma, which is a nice note to know because that's a youngin'. I'm not impressed if Watto and Tyreek are kicking ass because they're supposed to kick ass. I like to hear about Ezukanma.
Correct.
That's good. That's good. What else? What else did you say?
No, I'll give you names. Like I said, I don't want to spill everything I'm going to write, but I'll give you a couple of names.
Spill the beans. Spill the beans. Let's go.
Trill Williams having himself a majorly impressive early start of camp. He's the guy who stand out. Waddle had another huge. They actually wore the orange jersey after being the practice player of the day yesterday. And my feeling is coaches are not going to give it to the same guy 2 days in a row. But if they did, nobody would complain because he was a standout again at practice. I will tell you coming later as a tease on the QBs.
Noah today?
Sorry?
Anything from Noah today?
Nothing really stood out one way or the other, but
okay, good. That's good.
Overall, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him.
Okay. By the way, that's really good news. If Noah and Trill can actually develop the depth you have, oh my God, that would be phenomenal, dude. So there's a lot of positives. It's not so much that you want to justify the first round pick or this kid that they have unearthed now. This is his second year on the team, right? If I'm correct.
Trill Williams, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a young man that they found also off the scrap heap that they're trying to develop. And that'll be cool if they can develop him into another Nick Needham-like. But more importantly, man, you're seeing what's going on with Byron Jones now. He's recovering from a little surgery. Mm-hmm. You need to have somebody to step in, and that would be fantastic if you got a couple guys you can count on.
No question. And again, it's early in camp, but they have looked the part so far. And, with every play they make, you feel a little bit less nervous if somehow Byron's situation lingered.
Yeah, can't wait for those practices. That's going to be fantastic when I hear from you guys against the Bucks and who's the other one?
Eagles.
I can't wait to hear those reports because I think those are the things that are going to really help these players out in their development. Looking forward to it.
And you'll see a lot more O-line, D-line stuff when they're practicing against another team as opposed to going against each other, Jalen Phillips, again, looked like a complete stud coming off the edge. So those were a couple of the highlights. I don't want to spoil everything, but
Tua, you got to give us a little Tua love or hate, whatever it is that you've got for him today. What was it? How did he perform today?
Well, here's the thing: the way they structured the practice early on, when they first did the first period of team drills, it was run heavy where Tua threw only one pass. Then they did a drill where it was just the receivers, no offensive line, and 9 people in coverage, which is conducive to having completions or not. The ball doesn't get on the ground very often there. And then in that period, he was very impressive. And then at the end, he did more 11 on 11 and was not good.
Okay. Why?
But I'm seeing some of my colleagues saying he had a solid day. Well,
okay, so you didn't see a solid day from him. Okay, what mistakes?
I would tell you he was. So you were there, so you can maybe get an idea of my grading scale. I would say yesterday he was a BB minus.
Yeah, he was sharp yesterday.
Sorry,
he was sharp yesterday. He threw
Is BB minus fair? Would you agree with that, or would you go higher than that?
Yeah, there's no rush. Yeah, I would go B minus. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And today, to me, it would be the grade would be lower.
Okay. All right.
He had 2 balls that should have been picked. Let's put it that way also.
Okay. Well, those are the ones you read that were against the wind. Is that true? Was it Bob Seger like?
I was down on the field, and if there was a win, I really wish it had stayed there for the player interviews because I didn't feel a win. I don't know what the hell those guys are talking about.
That was awesome.
I really don't. Sorry.
Lately, there hasn't been wind, actually.
I know.
Now that you're saying that, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm going, yeah, there really wasn't. Like yesterday, I wish we had breezes because there wasn't a breeze. Forget wind. There wasn't a breeze. I mean,
Correct.
So, so yeah, that doesn't fly that against the wind stuff. Yeah.
No, I'm not buying it, but it's out there by some other reporters who are professional journalists who were out there in the stands with me, who said the 2 near picks came against the win.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Maybe I'm going senile, but I don't see no win there.
Okay. All right. No, I got to give you, I got to say you're right on that, because unless something's changed, when I was walking in, it didn't look too windy out there. And I was there yesterday, and it hasn't been kind of windy. It's been really hot and humid is what it's been.
But let me guess, Big
yeah,
O.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will come up with, it was a hurricane out there and I'm just a Tua hater. So
Okay. All right.
let's be honest.
Okay. All right. All right. I like it. All right. What else you working on at alldolphins.com so folks can check you out, my friend?
Too much. I wound up having not 87. I had like 7 stories on the site yesterday. There's going to be a lot. I had already had this morning the Mike McDaniel press conference highlight. As the second I get here, I'm heading straight to my laptop to do the practice observations as promised, and we'll have something later on. Melvin Ingram, Tyreek Hill, and or Jalen Waddle. And what else?
Give me one thing that stood out to you from the McDaniel press conference.
Melvin Ingram the plan yesterday for him was to just chill, not do team drills, and he basically told the coaches, get my ass in there, and they go, okay, do team drills.
Okay.
Which I really liked, actually.
Well, he's part of a new system. I think it makes all the sense in the world that you want to take your reps so you can.
Dude, the first day of camp, he's been in the league 13 years, or 10 years. It's the first day of camp. Do you really need to see him in team drills? Let's be honest.
I don't need to see him in I don't need to see his credentials. I don't need to see him as a football player. But I think personally for him, because he's part of a new team, I think he should be part of drills, because I think he should get the timing and playing with his players and his teammates and kind of getting to know everything. So I do think for him personally, if you're a pro, you want to get in there and want to be as prepared as possible. I think anybody, you do it every day of your life, dude. I see you when you write your articles, as you're covering it, you want to be as prepared as possible. I think he's just being a pro. I don't mind with that. I don't mind. If he was here,
I don't mind it. I love
if he was here for 3 years, if he was here for 3 years, I'd kind of fight him if I'm the coach. I'd say, Mel, we love you, brother, but you've been here. You know, we need to take care of you. Pace yourself. But in this case, he hasn't played with these guys. I think it's important for him to get some reps.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I never said first. I don't mind it in the least. I love it, actually. But you and I both know that a lot of guys in the same situation, had they been told by the coach, we're going to keep you out of team drills, they'd have been like, okay, no problem.
I'm out. Yeah, you're right.
No,
right.
I love the fact that he said, no, let me get my ass in there.
Yeah. No, I love it too. I think it's important for him to get it done. All right. Follow him on Twitter at PoopArtNFL. And if you're a Dolphins fan anywhere in the world and you haven't bookmarked alldolphins.com, then shame on you. Shame on you. Get on the bandwagon, alldolphins.com, and follow him on Twitter at PoopArtNFL. Alan, as always, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Have a good weekend, partner.
Thank you. There you go. It is the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupart, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill in our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th, and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza.
Man. What else do we have going on in the world of sports and crypto? Oh, things are flying, baby. Things are flying. Love it. Love it. Stay patient. Stay patient. Stay strong. It will all work out. Yeah, the bots are back. The bots are back, and they're going to get blocked now. Yeah. The bots are back. If Noah can improve with Surtain and Madison coaching, then he's lost cause. Well, give the kid a break, man. He hasn't played, and it's so easy to pick on him, and he's got 2 studs in front of him. I'm a little bit more patient in that sense with the young man. Hopefully he'll get it. He'll get it done. Let's see. Big O, give us a Saturday show on Big O Show Cuts this Saturday. Give the people what they want. We will. This Saturday after practice will be on Big O Show Cuts. So make sure you follow Big O Show Cuts. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. It is very important. I had people asking me this morning, are you on at 10 or are you on at 3? And I got tired of sending people messages, but after the first couple, I was like, man, hit the notification bell. The notification bell will tell you we're on. It'll send you a notification right away. Big O Show coming on the air, and boom, and now you know, and you'll be able to join us. So it's so important to subscribe to our channel here right now that you're watching. It's also important to hit that notification bell. And Big O Show Cuts, which is our backup channel, we are going to add live programming. I told you to do that, and maybe on the Saturday shows now. Not maybe this Saturday. We're gonna do our first Saturday show on Big O Show Cuts. Okay. So yes, the bots are back. Yes, they are. What else do we have coming in? Oh, I saw this story and I was laughing my ass off. So Dan Campbell, they were asking him about, having success this year, Sean, right? And what were the keys? And he says, well, our second-year players have got to show up. If our second-year players don't show up, we are in trouble, basically, is what Dan Campbell said. And I was kind of laughing at that. Let me read the exact quote for you just before I give you my entire explanation. Because, they added Aiden Hutchinson and Jameson Williams and all that in the draft. But Campbell's attention were to the players added during the last couple of years. Penei Sewell, Amon St. Brown, Aleem McNeil, Derek Barnes, all those, and a couple of other guys. And Campbell said that if the entire group has to take a big step forward for the Lions to make progress over the 3-13 record. I mean, we're counting on it, he says. We've got to have it. I mean, if they don't make a jump, we're in trouble. That's the bottom line, because those guys are kind of the core of our foundation. And let me tell you, they were in trouble when they hired the ankle biter. They were in trouble when they hired Mr. Oklahoma Drill. Dan Campbell looks like an incredibly likable person. Like the dude you want to hang out with, the dude you want to have, be friends with, have a beer with, you know what I'm saying? Watch a game with, all that kind of stuff. He does not look like head coach material. I'm sorry. The raw rock, I've seen this coach before. His name is Mike Tice. I've seen these kind of coaches before. They're called Ray, God, what's his name? He coached, he was an assistant coach with the Eagles, Ray Rhodes. I've seen these kind of coaches before. And for a coach to succeed, at least from my experiences of 30-something years of covering this business, the coach not only has to know how to develop a player, not only knows how to reach a player, because one guy needs a kick in the ass, the other guy needs a massage. Everybody's a little different, But if you're going to succeed, yeah, you got to inspire them at times, but you're also going to have to challenge them intellectually. You cannot motivate somebody to be their best by screaming at them the entire time. It's not going to work for your kid. It's not going to work for your employee, and it's not going to work for a professional player. You're going to have legitimate conversations with them. You're going to have moments of understanding. You're going to have moments where you're going to have to meet them halfway. It can't be an all one-way thing. You're never going to get to that point ever in your relationships, in your business, or as a coach. You've got to be able to handle it all. And Dan Campbell doesn't look to me like the guy that's going to out-coach his opponents. He just doesn't. And to me, that's got to be part of your game. There's got to be an IQ part to it. It can't just be all about emotion. So, Dan Campbell's doing the exercises.
They did the up down yesterday with the team. I guess it's his training camp tradition.
Whatever. Yeah, again,
I wanted to play the video, but I forgot it's on NFL, so I didn't bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. So it just shows Dan Campbell doing the exercise, and again,
he taped his wrists and everything. He has taped. He taped his wrists. He was ready to go.
Of course, he has to. A little more stability on the wrist there, bro. You got to tape him up. He's the guy you want with you in an alley, right? Don't you? Don't you want Dan Campbell with you in an alley if somebody's about to fight you? Dan Campbell looks like the guy that's going to fight with you. You know, he's
definitely not leaving you.
Right? No, he's definitely not leaving you. No, I just don't see him cerebrally. I don't know if that's a word. I just don't see him outthinking people. And I think when you're that kind of coach, you limit yourself. You're going to have to, you're going to have to give people the knowledge too at the same time. And that's where I think they were in trouble. I mean, the Ford family, apparently they're a really nice family and all that, but they have done just a terrible job of management with that Lions team. Let's see. Big O, it's so good to see you in the field again. You're going to take over and do your thing, bro. Appreciate you, man. I mean, I'm not going to be going to Dolphins camp all the time, but we will be going more to Dolphins camp. We'll be going to Heat. We'll be doing a lot more. The show will be out more on the road, and you'll see us more in those places. John Rouse says Dolphin practice is not free. Yeah, no, they're free, but you've got to get the tickets online at the website, John. And that's how you get in. They're free tickets, but it's a limited. You need that ticket in order to get in. So it's a free ticket that they give out, but it's a limited amount of tickets. And once they print out those tickets and you have them, that's it. All right. Let's see what else. I hope Campbell succeeds, says John Patterson. The Lions and Browns must have the most loyal fans in NFL history because year out of year, they suck. That's how Sean is. That's how Big O is with Sean, yelling the whole time. Exactly. That's how I motivate Sean. Yelling at him all the time. Does Skylar Thompson get any reps? No, not with the first team, Justin. Why would you do that? No. No, but he does. His arm is not accurate. He's got a good arm. I'll tell you that. I did see that out of him, and he's probably a good athlete. And I think this is a kid that has the upside to be a backup quarterback, like I told you. He doesn't have the upside, at least that's what NFL people tell me. He doesn't have the upside to be a starter, but at the moment, his skill set, if you can polish it up, he might be able to be a decent backup quarterback. So I think that's what the Dolphins are hoping in this next year, that they can do enough to develop him because they're going to lose Teddy next year. And if Tua goes out and has success and you no longer have to tie him back behind him with a veteran quarterback. And they've done that the first couple of years, fine, in his development. But if he busts out this year, which we hope he does, then down the line, what you do is have a developmental quarterback behind him instead of, an old guy. And not that Teddy's really that old or anything. What do you got going on, Sean? What's coming across your wire?
Jessica Blaylock sent out.
Uh-oh.
She's reporting with the.
Max Meyer.
Nope.
Oh no, we traded somebody.
Nope.
Oh God,
that is a brutally scary moment that almost brings you to tears.
We're moving to the Miami baseball stadium that doesn't exist anymore.
No. Daniel Castano was hit with a comebacker.
Oh, is he all right?
He was able to walk off on his own power, but that'll be another pitcher probably heading toward the injured list as well. So another one.
Wow. Okay, what's the score in that game?
That I do not have.
Okay, because
we by Craig Mish. So
we have priorities here. We laid 1.5 here on the run. So
did you take the You took the Reds though, right?
Right, I took the Reds.
Yeah, well, Castano's out.
And now Castano's out. So Not that I want the Marlins to lose, but I mean, they do fine on their own. I have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Is the media allowed to join practices? Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yesterday, I got
at
down
joint practices, I think.
Oh, at the joint practice.
I think you meant at joint practices.
Oh, is media allowed at joint practice? Oh, no. Oh, I don't know if he means that. But yesterday, I did get on the field, okay, and I busted around Teron Armstead and sacked Tua. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if they put the highlights on. They probably hid that highlight because, I showed them up, so they don't, it's not good pub for them that I go in there and just blow past the left tackle and go get the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But I took it easy on Tua, just so you'll know. Dan Campbell going to outmuscle his opponents. Oh, man. Big O Madden has Tua and Bridgewater rated the same at 75 overall. I disagree with this. Bridgewater is worse. Dan Campbell would do well with a solid coordinator group. Yeah, I just don't think. By the way, somebody gave me the score 1-0 Reds. He probably also bet with me on this one. We're 16-8 in our last 24 here against the spread. Just saying. So we're gonna try to go 17-8 here. And one more thing, on Saturday, if we do the show, we'll do it in the afternoon, okay? Because obviously morning will be at the Dolphins camp for practice. And if you are going out to Dolphins practice, hey man, give us a shout out. Would love to meet you. Love to see the people that download this show and watch it all the time. Always appreciate all of you for supporting us. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to thank David Dwork, Jordan Schultz, Alan Pupar, Anthony Chiang. Tomorrow we'll be at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, like we are twice a month. We'll have some fun out there. We thank Sean Stanley, of course, always mastering this program and getting it done. We will see all of you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a fantastic one.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.